Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is a story about what if Naruto can summon Hellhound Harem. Before I start, please support for more amazing content and do consider subscribing to my channel and share this video with your friends. This is written by Crowfeast and link in description and support writer. Let's start the video. Chapter 1. Happy Hotel's Guard Hound. Hell. They say almost everyone ends up down there these days. From the lowest of low to the morally betrayed. From those that were saints in a previous life and were doing what was best for everyone in the long run to those that just didn't care and committed cruel acts for the fun of it. Our protagonist thought as he jumped from a blood-coated building rooftop to the one next to it, keeping his eyes open for a certain someone. But even when this happens, the purge happens to help clean up the lost souls in hell and lessen their population every year. Quite honestly, it got to the point that certain events were unfolding to help lessen the annual purge and hopefully giving people some hope. The streets on which he gazed upon were layered with body parts and soaked in blood. Demons of all classes, except royals and those of a similar nature, were helping in the cleanup since the angels left after making this giant mess. The ears of our protagonist twitched as he heard a familiar sound, causing him to look up the road to see a crappy car pulled up to the side of the street, and out came a sexy individual. This person had 4 arms, white fur skin, a bosom with great appeal with a white and pink top that adds more attention to his chest. The man had long boot-like heels on his feet and carried himself as the definition of sexy. However, one of the most notable traits about him were his eyes. One was red with black background and the other was red with a white background. His hair had pink highlights to complement his white fur and a heart on the back of his head. This was Angel Dust, a well-known porn star in hell. And I found Angel and he has just sold himself for cash. The protagonist thought with a mental face palm and an audible sigh before he jumped from the building, landing on the ground safely. So, make sure your wife knows I appreciate the cash. Angel Dust replied as he stuffed the cash into his bosom. Yeah, redeeming yourself my ass. The demon inside the car rolled his eyes, hey he was horny and his wife was not wanting to give him any. So, a couple bucks for a roll with this idiot was more than worth getting his rocks off. Angel smiled watching the car pull away and he blew a kiss its way while pulling the cash out to count it, making sure his lapse in his rehab was worth it. Man, I really need this, my reputation was about to take a hit. Angel thought before he walked up to a machine and was about to put the money in until he heard a cough and froze. You know Charlie would mangle you for going back on your treatment, right? Slowly turning his head, Angel smiles fearfully. Hey Naruto, how's it going man? Standing there was our protagonist. Naruto was a man that was about 6'7", but he was more distinct than Angel. Where Angel was a spider-themed demon, Naruto was a hellhound. Like most hellhounds, resembled a wolf with white and gray fur, a wild spiky mane that was bright yellow going down his back and a long muzzle showing a frown. He wore no shoes showing off his digitigrade stance legs having clawed feet along with his claws on his hands being razor sharp and black. Naruto's ears were sticking straight up showing the inside of them being white, with the left ear having the tip missing due to him losing it a long time ago. His long bushy tail swayed safely above the ground. His outfit choice is consisting of him wearing a black and gray skull shirt with a pentagram on the back, tight-fitting black jeans, and an orange watch. No one knows why he wore the watch, but his only response is, it is a bit nostalgic from a life I lost. Everyone knew better than to push the subject after that point. But the most distinct feature that drew in Angel's attention to tell him his mood at this time were his eyes. Unlike most hellhounds, Naruto didn't have the red eyes they are accustomed to, but instead blue eyes. One could see the slits inside of them and the power that dwelled underneath them. Come on man. Angel waved his hands around, you're really going to stop me now from getting a buzz. I mean Charlie does that already and with a Mexican cyclops there it is even more condemning. Naruto sighed as he shook his head at Angel's remarks. Look I get they can be suffocating at times, but they really do want better for you. If you actually talk to them about things, we might reach some compromises. Naruto offered as he looked at the spider. Yeah, right. Angel scoffed, one of his right hands pushing his hair out of his eyes. The small growl made Angel wave his hands in a slight panic. Okay, but what am I supposed to do about this? Angel stated as he waved the cash around. You know the minute I show up and show this they'll know what I did. Naruto rubbed the back of his head. Look chill, you had sex not that big of a deal. They'll be mad yeah, but they aren't going to tear your head off for one slip up. Naruto smiled slightly. Plus, we both know that cutting off completely from vices in hell is one hell of an order. Angel smiled as he let out a hearty laugh. Damn right, I just needed something to take off the edge. Oh? Naruto pulled out an orange phone from his pants and scrolled down on a blog site. You mean you didn't want to argue against some of these posts then? Naruto turning his phone around and Angel looked at the screen. It showed messages on him disappearing and how he is seemingly going straight. cleaning up his act and not giving out his services. Angel's face scrunched up in disgust and fear. Of course, Valentino is sharing this information. Angel thought, thinking of the man he called daddy scared him, all the while his anger growing at the damage his reputation was taking from this. I can't waste this chance to go straight, but my rep being tarnished is not something I'll allow. Angel returned his attention to Naruto as the hellhound looked at him. Yeah. That might have influenced my decision more. Angel huffed slightly. Naruto shook his head and scrolled through the phone some more before pulling up something and showing it to Angel. What? Just watch Dumbus. Okay, geez, a flea crawled. Naruto gave him a dark look and smile. Finish that sentence, I dare you. Angel held his hands up, who was he to piss off someone that was raising the status of hellhounds in hell? Looking at the screen he saw it was Charlie, the princess of hell. Cell phone. I am Katie Killjoy and today we have a special guest, Charlotte Magni, the daughter of our head honcho. Katie said as she used irritation into her voice. So, Charlotte, what is this passion project you are so passionate about? Charlie, actually. Charlie said nervously as she looked from Katie to the camera. As you know, we just had our annual purge, but as I was born here, I can't help but feel sad at the loss of life. Katie wrapped her fingers against the desk as Tom Trench listened politely, but apprehensively. So, after many years of watching my people get slain to make room here in hell, I have come up with a solution. Charlie said passionately, glancing to something or someone off the screen, smiling. I have devised a way to help redeem people to go to heaven. Angel and Naruto witnessed Charlie show off her singing talents as she sang about the happy hotel. She really likes to sing, even though it doesn't make her seem mature. Angel replied as he tried to hide the fact that he liked the song. Shut up and watch. Naruto continued as he held the phone before them, witnessing Katie and Tom along with the crowd burst into laughter at Charlie's idea of rehabilitation. Naruto frowned at the words Katie said to Charlie, but felt happy when Charlie let out her sass. We have one participant, someone known as Angel Dust. Charlie said as she sat on the desk fashionably. You mean the porn star? Tom asked in excitement. You fucking would, Tom. Katie insulted as she turned her gaze toward her co-host before it returned to Charlie. Not much of a jump for your plan. You could pay that hooker to do anything with enough cocaine and lube. Charlie huffed, standing up and staring Katie in the eyes. Angel has been doing well the past 2 weeks. He has started to get his act together and has been clean for 2 weeks. She stated confidently. While Angel did feel a swell of pride in the fact that he made Charlie happy, there was another part that argued he shouldn't have to make anyone happy but himself. Seeing the conflicting emotions in Angel's eyes, Naruto turned the phone away. Angel, don't you see? Charlie believes you can do better than this. Why do you think she got you out of there? Out of that man's grasp? Naruto said, trying to urge Angel down a better path. Angel looked at the ground and felt bad. He was taking advantage of Charlie's generosity all so he can live rent-free at the hotel. Well, it was true, he could get a room with anyone desperate enough, he knew it was not long-term. He would be used and abused again and kicked to the curb at some point and found by Valentino. At least Charlie was trying to be there for me, rather than having me be there for her. Angel thought as it was refreshing, but his ego wouldn't allow it to show. Plus, she got me out from service with Valentino, so that was more than enough for me to try her whole redemption. Yeah, well, Angel blew his hair out of his face again. I can't exactly do what she wants me to the letter. I mean giving up everything. He wringed his hair in frustration. It is just against everything I know. Naruto shook his head. Then tell her this, don't be vague and rude, actually tell her this. Then maybe you guys can come to some compromises about what needs to be done for you to commit to the hotel. He said as he put his hand on Angel's shoulder in a comforting manner. Yeah, Angel started to say before an explosion goes off and the two of them look up and see a blimp flying around and someone laughing in the distance. Naruto groaned as he rolled his eyes at the blimp. That snakehead that for some reason has an obsession with eggs, maybe because he lost his balls, is causing trouble again. Naruto said before turning to the side he saw someone throwing bombs and shooting at the blimp. And your girlfriend seems to be having your battle with him. Really, cherry bomb? Angel exclaimed in happiness. Time to have some fun then. Naruto pointed a claw finger at him, aiming it at his eye. You are not going to do a damn thing. He glared and Angel glared back. Why not? Simple. Charlie is doing that interview on the news, and while I don't think hell will take her serious like her father didn't, you acting out and getting caught on camera won't help at all. Naruto argued convincingly. The hotel will be seen as a bigger joke, and that is something I won't allow. You're just. Naruto grabbed him by the front of his jacket and growled with his eyes glowing. Do I look like I'm joking, furry porn advertisement? Naruto growled, baring his fangs at the spider, who pushed off of Naruto. No, but you can't expect me to let my best friend possibly die out there on her own? Angel demanded. Naruto could not believe the things coming out of Angel's mouth. She is as strong as an overlord, isn't she? She can handle herself. It is not the first time she took down that idiot on her own. Naruto replied. Angel looked and saw Cherry dodging attacks and bombs going off all over the place as the egg boys attacked her. Naruto, please. Angel begged as he grabbed Naruto's jacket. She is strong, but I don't want to let the chance of her being killed happen. The young man looked and saw the spider demon pleading, damn his bleeding heart, he really should charge for this. Charlie will kill me for this. Naruto thought as he removed Angel's hands from his clothing. Head down the fucking street, the limo is waiting for you. Get in and head to the hotel and I'll try to cover your fuck up here today. Naruto stated as he prepared himself for the fight and then disappointment that he would receive from Vaggie and Charlie. What? But what? Angel saw Naruto turn to the fighting and start walking to it. Charlie is going to kill me for this later, but at this point if it means that much to you, I'll help her out. Naruto said in a rare tone of compassion. But this means you have to commit to the program and talk to Charlie about compromises, got it? Angel smiled as a massive amount of relief washed over him. While he knew that he was making an excuse, it was nice to see the young hellhound that scared him when he first came to the hotel and did try to bed. What, don't blame him, he is cute, has a good heart in a place like hell. Fine, just make sure Cherry is okay. Angel said before he sauntered over to the limo, missing the sign Naruto released. I really need to start charging more for shit like this. Naruto mumbled before he stretched his legs a bit before taking a running start as he jumped toward the carnage. News studio. Vaggie was watching things unfold, quite honestly it was worrying. I had thought with the turf war going on, Angel would fuck this up for us. Vaggie thought as she glanced toward her phone, keeping an eye on the turf war. But there are no reports about him in it, so the hotel is safe. Vaggie looked up and saw Katie insulting Charlie's dream, which she had been doing for roughly 10 minutes, with Charlie responding back with anger incrementally getting worse. Oh yeah, and the reporter is a bitch that I would strangle, but it looks like Charlie might do that for me. Vaggie thought as she frowned, her head bow sharpening and looking like curved horns. Oh yeah, princess. I'm not surprised you are using Angel like this. She smiled darkly and Charlie raised an eyebrow at this. I mean, we all know how you royals exploited the hellhound race in the past. How can you talk about reformation when you are using one of their own to safeguard your little place? Pontificating all that rehab bullshit while repeating the work of your ancestors, how shameful. Charlie, in a lapse of judgment, transformed slightly. Her horns revealed and sclera becoming red and without warning, slammed the reporter's head into the desk, breaking it on impact. Don't you dare speak of him like some kind of pet again, I'll make sure I tear your soul to pieces. Turning to the camera crew she gave them an evil eye, enticing someone in the back with a smile on his face and his red eyes focused on the debacle. It was the funniest thing he had seen in ages. That pet as you call him is someone very special and someone that is worthy of praise, unlike you, bitch. More, he has done great things in hell on his terms. Charlie continued, having lost sight of her goal. The news soon motioned to Katie, which she saw them waving. Pressing her finger against her headset in her ear, she received a message and smiled. Oh? Your dear pet is causing a scene today. Snapping her fingers, the group turned the screen and showed a hoodie-covered hellhound running across the roof, dodging blasts and bombs being thrown at him, along with a cyclops woman with bombs in her hand. Liv. The hellhound who unified the hounds, who is now serving the Magni family, seems to be battling it out with a resident genius Serpentius. Tom announced as the station ignored Charlie's segment as they focused on the turf war. Oh shit, Charlie and Vaggie said in shock as they watched Naruto on the screen dodge a blast coming his way and slice through an egg boy that was heading straight for him. Another demonstration of your reform act, dear princess? Katie asked with sick malicious enjoyment as Charlie's flame of anger died. Charlie sighed, embarrassment and worry on her face as she saw Naruto chomp down into an egg boy, its yolk center bursting in his mouth before catching an explosion tossed to him by Cherry Bomb, hurling it with enough force to break through the steel hub of the blimp, detonating upon impact. On the contrary, he is more about doing his own thing. After all, he is free to do what he wants if it falls into his beliefs, and most likely he is helping out this woman as a request. Charlie stated as she regained her confidence. Don't forget that, or do, after all you seem to forget what true beauty is, bitch. This angered Katie, making Tom fearful, but then they hear an explosion and crash, turning their heads back to the screen. Naruto is standing over the remains of the blimp that had fallen to the ground, and out came Serpentius. Ensues charged at Naruto, who dodged his attack with a simple side step and cut him with his claws. The snake growled and lashed out again, but sadly failed when he disappeared in a flash of silver and appeared above him. Eat shit, snake freak. The audience watched and his body glowed red with his eyes now turning red. Quick record this. This is historic moment in seeing the legendary royal hellhound using his powers. Katie shouted loudly. Charlie watched and her eyes twitched. You're going to be getting an earful when I get home. Charlie thought as she sat in anger. Idiot, Charlie is going to be really mad about this. Vaggie thought as she shook her head. Meanwhile. I just want to finish this shit up quick before it becomes a spectacle again. Naruto thought as he was drenched in blood and egg yolk, which was starting to stink and hurt his sense of smell. Within seconds he slashed his red claws and caused a snake to scream in pain and explode in a shower of blood and guts. Naruto just rolled his shoulders, turned his head to Cherry. I'll charge you for my services at a later time. Naruto said to his loose acquaintance before jumping away to head back to the hotel. Okay, nah. Cherry replied with a massive smile as she watched Naruto leave. Now, to stake my claim on this turf. Back in the news studio. Well, there you have it, demons and Hellborn, we have just witnessed another case of the legendary hellhound that has taken hell by storm. Dating back to when he was 13, he started taking down powerful figures through hell, until at the age of 16, he became an uncrowned overlord after killing the former overlord Apios, the Ape King. Katie announced, the news station ignoring Charlie completely. He is leading the reform and increasing of hellhound status in hell, and becoming one of the premier demons to anyone that kills will gain massive following and support for the coming years. Not only voted Bachelor of the Year for 6 years running, but he is known as the princess's personal attack dog. Charlie, tired of hearing this, finally transforms completely and without warning, jumps Katie and pushes her into the wall, cracking it. He is not my dog, he is not my pet, he is my son, you cunt. Charlie shouted without warning. She throws Katie across the room, causing a massive fight for an hour before Charlie and Vaggie stomped out of the building. The hotel will not be targeted for this mess, but this whole mess had Angel's name on it, that much is sure. Vaggie told Charlie, holding her hand as they made it to the limo. And that stupid hound is attached to this mess too. For fuck's sake, killing Pensius was not a good example of your dream. Vaggie shouted as she stepped into the limo. At night, happy hotel foyer. Really, son, did you have to do that on live TV during the announcement? Charlie asked Naruto, who was sitting on his haunches with a small note that said punishment on it. Well, I was wearing a hoodie to hide my identity. Naruto replied before Charlie glared at him. That did shit to hide it. Charlie replied hotly, taking a deep breath. Geez, calm down, it was better me doing it than Angel, right? Naruto said, drawing attention to Angel, who was walking through the foyer of the hotel at that moment. The spider demon froze when Charlie turns her eyes on him and glares. He gulps while Vaggie is playing with her spear. Oh, and what was he doing out of the hotel? Naruto rolled his eyes and pulled out his phone and fiddled with it while Angel sweated at the attention. I might have had a moment of weakness and had some sex and bought some drugs. Angel admitted nervously. Charlie sighed while Vaggie growled. You fucking moron. Do you know what that could do the hotel, especially during the broadcast? It would have made us a fucking joke, you bastard. Vaggie shouted angrily as she summoned her spear. Naruto rolled his eyes and grabbed Vaggie by the shoulder, keeping a tight grip on her as his eyes stayed on his phone. Calm down, Vaggie, it is not like most wouldn't take the hotel serious to begin with. I mean, most denizens were not going to take us serious anyway, but at least this way we can cover up for Angel being out and say that it was a free day during his rehab and that he was taking advantage of it or something. Naruto typed something into his phone. We can save face that way, and plus me fighting the stupid snake idiot and killing him sends a message clear to the overlords and alike that this hotel is no easy target, and unless they are here for treatment, we'll send them packing. Yeah, but. Hey. Everyone turned to Angel, who sighed. Look, I'm sorry I did what I did, okay? Naruto already lectured me about it, and quite honestly, I understand my fuck up was due to my ego and years of abuse. But you two can't expect me to quit every fucking thing cold turkey. That is how you send your body into shock. Charlie, having calmed down quite a bit, took a seat on the couch, to which Angel sat in a lounge chair across from her. Go on. Charlie urged, willing to listen to Angel. I know it was a lot to ask, but you have to understand, Angel, we need to start somewhere, and you have to be willing to comply. Naruto rolled his eyes, the same conversation. Charlie really wants her way no matter what, how very demon of her, and that is something I am familiar with, given it was the same way when she found me. Naruto thought with a smile, which held fondness and disdain. Flashback. Naruto, age 6, was searching through some garbage cans for food at an alley entrance between two apartment buildings. He was hungry and it has been 2 days since he ate, and even then, it was not very much. The tip of his left ear was missing, his fur coated in blood crust as the wound was infected, and he wore rags that barely covered his body. How long have I been here? Naruto thought as he looked around him in paranoia as he continued to search for food, his tail between his legs shaking in fear. I guess that since I was sent to this place that the village was right, I am a demon. The first moment he opened his eyes in this world, in a hellhound orphanage in the outer edge of the Ring of Gluttony, Naruto was informed that he was told a hellhound no less. They are seen as lower than other demons, so he is seen as trash or something to train and discipline. Well, the matron running the orphanage learned quickly he is not like most even with his blue eyes. Which other hellhounds told him would make him valuable to someone in the business of hiring and the like. Naruto was introduced to other hellhound children of various ages, and due to his eyes, Naruto was bullied. The matron did not stop the violence the children inflicted onto him, and in a fit of rage, Naruto killed the matron, which earned him praise from the other children, since they just stole her stuff and started living there, while Naruto walked away, not wanting to have his life tied to the place. While he had thought he could maintain his life alone, hell proved him wrong at every turn. The strongest case of him not being able to survive was the fact he witnessed the purge, only living due to curling into a ball under dead bodies, holding his breath when angels were nearby playing dead. Leading to his current predicament. That happened once and I'm not going to go through that mess again. Naruto thought as he was hit on the head with a full garbage bag, courtesy from someone in the building tossing their trash from the 4th story. The bag split open and revealed half-eaten food and fruits. Without hesitation, Naruto grabbed what he could and started to shove it into his mouth. I'm going to die here. He thought, forgetting he had already died once, and it was why he was here. As he continued to scarf down the food, his ears twitched as he heard a screech and turning his head out of the can he saw a white limo. It had stopped next to the alley entrance, and he was confused for a second and prepared to run. A while ago, some weirdos had tried to capture saying he make an excellent pet, whatever he meant. He was sure it had something to do with him losing his identity, and he said fuck that noise. Luckily, he was like most men and one kick to the balls, and he is down for a bit so he can run. The limo door opened and out came a white-skinned girl with blonde hair and gold eyes. She seems to have a smile on her face and gave off a powerful aura. She was dressed in a purple dress that hugged her figure, and she had things on her cheeks and fangs in her mouth. She walked up to him with a smile on her face, squatting down to his level to get a good look at him. Yes? Naruto asked, ready to attack swiftly and then flee if the need was necessary. Naruto glared at the girl, but in seconds he found himself held under his armpits in front of her. Aren't you just adorable? She hugged him tightly, making him squeak from the pain and feeling his ribs crack. Baby breath. Oh sorry. She held the child close to her but loosened her grip. I've never seen a hellhound like you before. One with blue eyes, I mean. She tapped his nose, making him growl, making her giggle before she saw his left ear. Oh, your ear is bleeding and it is probably infected. Could you please put me down? Nope. Without waiting, she walked back to her car and sat down in her seat. Xavier, take me home. This little one needs a bath, some medical treatment, and some grooming. Naruto raised an eyebrow. What is she going on about? I didn't agree to this. Yes, my lady. My lady. Naruto thought in paranoia, staying as far from this woman as possible after she let him go inside the limo, but could not get out due to the child lock being on. After a bit of a drive, Naruto found himself being carried into the house. He tried to jump out of the car when the door was opened, but she caught him quickly and kept him on her lap the entire time. This annoyed him as it seemed she was stronger than expected. Upon looking up, he saw a castle of some kind and sitting almost at the center of a large city shaped like a pentagon. Looking at the building, he could sense the place has great importance and that the girl lived here. Something of an instinct and the fact they stopped in front of the house might have given that away for him. Walking into the house, the girl carried him in her arms before maids and butlers alike with varying forms bowed and welcomed the girl home, Charlie from what he gathered. She is a noble. Naruto thought, remembering the rumors he heard in the orphanage about nobles was not pleasing. Especially since some of them saw his kind trash demons as nothing more than toys for their own amusement. What does this bitch want with me? A pet? Force me to fight? Torture me? Alright, first I'll bathe you and then I'll take you to meet my parents. Charlie declared as she pulled him toward the large bath. Naruto looked up at her with a blank expression, which hid his confusion. When did I agree to this? Naruto demanded, speaking after so long and trying to sound intimidating. She smiled and hugged him closer. Oh, you're so precious and cute, I can't wait to see what kind of demon you'll turn into in the future. Oh, maybe one day you can help me with my dream. Charlie said with stars in her eyes. Naruto tuned her out at this point as she seemed to be rambling about different things here and there and some stuff related to this dream of hers. Honestly, I just wanted to eat and find somewhere safe to sleep. Naruto thought before Charlie handed him to a servant before he entered the large bath and was stripped out of his rags and put in warm water. His bristled fur was given a hard scrubbing and having crap put into his face he never smelled before. After a few minutes he was dropped on the floor and dried off to the point that he was sure that his fur never felt this clean. So soft and fluffy. Naruto thought for the first time since he came to hell as the servant who helped bathe him applied ointment and bandaging to his left ear while a female servant appeared with some clothes. Naruto was then put in a white t-shirt and some shorts before Charlie walked into the room. "Oh, look at you all cleaned up and tidy, now come on, I want to introduce you to mom and dad," Charlie said as she extended her hand toward him. Naruto raised an eyebrow, staring at her hand like it was dangerous. What the hell is with this bitch?" Naruto thought as he slowly took her hand, his chest becoming tight as many of his beliefs were being challenged. "She is a royal, but she isn't hurting me, why does she remind me of old man Hokage?" While in his thoughts, Naruto was guided into a massive room that was a throne room of some kind, and sitting there were the king and queen of hell. Lucifer Magni had pure white skin, blonde hair, thick black eyebrows, black lips and a mouth full of sharp teeth. He wore a white high-collar suit, a black bow tie, and a red undershirt with white stripes. He also had a wide-brimmed white top hat, with a purple snake and red apple over a red band on a small table beside his throne, with an apple-topped black cane that matches his hat propped on the table. His eyes are yellow, with black slit pupils resembling those of a snake. He, like his daughter Charlie, has red cheeks. His eyelids are purple which give the appearance of eyeshadow. Lilith Magni was a tall woman, exceeding both her husband and daughter in height, with pale skin, long blonde hair and silverish eyes. Her most distinguishing physical characteristic is a pair of horns, a trait her husband, ironically, lacked. She wore a tight black dress with black gloves that went up to her forearms, connected with a see-through mesh with a pearl necklace around her neck. Man, seriously seemed to like white and black for some reason. Naruto thought as he swallowed a lump in his throat. "Charlie, I see you brought home a new pet." Lucifer smiled down at the child, but Naruto growled at being called a pet and unconsciously flared some of his power, revealing his red aura, making Lucifer smile as Lilith chuckled. "Now dear, what are you doing with this cute little thing?" Lilith asked as she looked at her daughter from her throne. Charlie puffed out her chest in pride. "I saw him on the street and something told me I want him to have a better life, and so I'm adopting him as my son as of today," Charlie declared proudly, making Naruto's eyes bug out from the sudden announcement. Huh. Flashback end. That was when I learned that Charlie was the princess of hell, literally, and that the two on the thrones were the king and queen. Naruto thought as he continued to scroll through his phone. Charlie, with her big heart, wanted to do the best for others, but for some reason she felt the need to bring me into her family as her son. Then she met Vaggie, and after they started dating, met me and we are close. Naruto grew up at this point as the known grandson of the king and queen, but in the eyes of others, Naruto was a filthy stray that was picked up by the princess. In time he proved them all wrong and became one of the most feared demons in all of hell, and someone that even the king had come to respect due to his strength and talent. Apparently even among his own kind he is unique with powers that he couldn't explain, and even a healing factor that is stronger than most. At this point, he just chalked it up to who he was as a human and left it at that. After all these years, he had forgotten his previous life. "You can't have a pole here. It defeats the purpose of having you out of that life," Naruto heard, making him see Angel, who was holding a large pole that could touch the ceiling, and Charlie keeping him from installing it. "Well, I don't see you two compromising with me on certain things, I mean seriously, this place makes me stir crazy," Angel rebuked as he kept trying to install the stripper pole. Naruto looked and saw the three arguing and finally having enough, for his hearing was sensitive due to him being a hellhound. "How about this? Angel, no drugs and sex in exchange, I'll put a bar into the hotel and you can drink in the afternoons if you behave," Naruto offered, horrifying Vaggie and Charlie at the notion of installing a bar. "Charlie and Vaggie, you have to keep the bar open to him and others in the afternoon, that way they have something they can indulge in and they stay on the premises." The three looked at him, and while Charlie looked to consider it, Vaggie looked against it, but Angel was all for it. "Hey, I can live with that. As long as I can drink here, I'll give up the other two things." He turned away from the girls, dropping the stripper pole. "It would help keep them under control," Charlie whispered, her hand on her chin, her finger tapping it. "Fine, we can at least do that, but please don't abuse this privilege." Vaggie was shocked to hear Charlie allow alcohol as Angel cheered in victory. "But what, Charlie, we can't," Vaggie attempted to build an argument. "Vaggie, Angel was right. Forcing him to go completely without some vices would most likely make rehabilitation more difficult. Allowing this one thing for now could be a step in the right direction," Charlie explained, deep down not really wanting it, but understanding that it was important. "I am not really for it, but I will support Charlie's decision," Vaggie said in defeat. Naruto saw the three agree, one reluctantly, and him finally sighing before his phone rang as someone was calling him. Naruto checked the ID, his face faltering. "Tex. Ah, the bodyguard for the pop star," Naruto thought with a scowl. "Man, I really don't want to deal with her today." Sighing, Naruto answered his phone. "Hey Tex. Hey Naruto, can you do me a favor, man?" "Depends. Who's asking for the favor, you or your boss?" "It's me, man, don't worry, she don't know I'm doing this yet." Listen, boss has a big concert coming up and while I'm confident I can handle it by myself, the studio wants to make sure nothing gets out of hand, so they want me to hire someone else on staff that can handle this. Vortex explained in a calm tone. I checked with the agency and most are busy or doing their own thing at this point or on break. So can you lend me a hand, man? Naruto sighed and rubbed his neck. The agency knows I don't work for cheap, right? Oh, no doubt, and don't worry, the boss won't try anything, she is too busy with work to get distracted with you, trust me. Vortex reassured. Alright, when is the concert? Tomorrow, thanks for the help, we'll be in the greed ring, you know the venue? Vortex asked his friend. Yeah, I do. Let's just make sure things go smoothly, last time I worked for her I almost got raped. Naruto grumbled, the word rape being heard by Vaggie, increasing her interest in his conversation. Yeah, don't worry about it, man, the agency will make sure that don't happen again. Vortex stated. Besides, I'll be there to help you escape if she does make an attempt. Be sure, I'll see you tomorrow. Naruto hung up and looked, seeing Vaggie's confusion. Who was that, sweetie? Naruto internally cringed, that sounded so wrong from someone that didn't look any older than him. A job request. Tex is asking for some help at a concert that might get a little out of control, so he wants some extra hands to help keep their star safe. Naruto explained to Vaggie, who signaled for Charlie to come over. Wait, the concert that is? Yeah, it is her. Charlie glared, her sclera becoming red in her anger. No. I forbid it after what happened last time. Naruto rolled his eyes, bristling her anger. Relax, I managed to escape last time with my pants, she just had my shirt. Naruto shrugged. Regardless, she has called me to buy your services as her permanent bodyguard. You'll never do that and I'm tied to the hotel. Don't worry, I'm just keeping idiots from the stage and their star from getting hurt the minute the show is over and I'm paid, I'll leave no sweat. Naruto stated his position in this contract. GRR. Naruto just shook his head. Relax, it'll blow over, mom. Naruto said nonchalantly. Charlie relaxed at this as Naruto knew the only way to get her to chill is to call her mom. It is a rare gesture at times, so he does this to get her to chill out. Okay, but call me if something goes wrong, do you understand, or Vaggie got it? Yeah. Naruto walked up the stairs. I'm going to get some sleep, wake me if something comes up. And no, it's not an invitation to my bed, Angel. Okay, night, sweetie. Charlie said as she waved him good night as Angel grumbled. Vaggie rolled her eyes with a smile on her face. Charlie was such a doting mother that it's nuts. I have no doubt things were going to get interesting. Vaggie thought as she sat down. Knock, knock. Charlie went to the door and opened it, revealing a tall demon with deer antlers wearing a red pinstripe suit, his face in a large smile that revealed his yellow teeth. Charlie shut the door in his face, turning to the side in confusion. She opened the door again, seeing the demon still there. Hello, he continued before Charlie shut the door again. Hey Vaggie. Yeah? The radio demon is here. Charlie said, pointing at the door as she wore a smile mimicking the radio demon's smile. Naruto's room. In his bed, Naruto let out a sigh. My life, my choices. That is all that matters to me. He mumbled as he closed his eyes. Thinking back to a conversation he had with Lucifer, he could only smile a bit as he fell asleep. Flashback. Child, I have to ask, why are you so insistent on doing things your way and not the way others want? Lucifer asked at dinner once. Lucifer and Lilith had invited Naruto and Naruto alone to eat with them. Naruto, age 8, had only known them for 2 years and was still very respectful to them. Simple Lord Magni. When I was alive everything was decided for me. Who I can love, who I can talk to, who gets to beat me, how long I starve, who got to molest me, and even when I was allowed to die. Naruto said after swallowing the food in his mouth, his words making Lilith and Lucifer quirk an eyebrow, neither really bothered by them. But in this new world I decide how I live, no one will take that from me again. If I want to kill someone I will steal what I want, buy what I want, love who I want, and die how I want. My choice, I will never give that up. What about Charlie? I see you bend backwards for her literally. Lilith asked as she sipped a large glass of wine. I want to see her happy, if being her son, killing people that threaten her, and helping her with the redemption thing makes her happy, then so be it. As long as I get to see her smile, that is all that matters to me, as that is something I will cherish forever. Naruto stated with conviction, a fire in his eyes as he looked at the king and queen. That is my answer, Lady Magni. Lucifer and Lilith smiled at his answers, each reaching for his hand. Welcome to the family, Naruto. Lucifer said with a chuckle at the shocked look on Naruto's face. Flashback end. Naruto dozed off, not knowing the minute he awakes things in the hotel will have changed. For better or worse we shall see. Chapter end. Chapter 2. Bodyguard to the stars. I fucking hate waking up early, Naruto thought groggily as he pulled the blanket over his face, not wanting the light to wake him. Naruto was not a morning person, far from it. Even at the earliest ages he hated waking up in the morning. More so, Charlie was the first person to greet him in the morning as a child and always was guiding him through the castle. Now though, it is just that they are nestled in an area with tons of violence, explosions, and nasty smells that he didn't want to know what they were coming from. I'll get up now. Naruto thought sadly. He had to throw off the blanket and started to get ready for the busy day ahead of him. After all, the concert will be in the Circle of Greed, meaning it would take me a few hours to reach the circle and get set up with the studio. Once dressed and his hair brushed, Naruto walked out of his room and down the hall, which was right across from Vaggie and Charlie's room. They had the largest room on the top floor and insisted on him having a room right next to them. Knowing better than arguing, he agreed. Seems like she is tired, guess yesterday was pretty tiring, and Angel being a hassle yesterday didn't help. Naruto shook his head and walked down the stairs to the foyer. He yawned and looked around the room and was alarmed. For one thing, the entire room seemed to change drastically from what Charlie had set up. The place had more of a bar theme going for it and seemed to look like it got decked out with some classy aesthetics. Stuff that looked more 20s if he was being honest. Good thing Charlie made me study up on history for the last few hundred years. But this can't be Charlie's work. I mean, she is more modern in taste with all butterflies and shit. Naruto thought as he moved over to the bar area, wanting to make himself a drink before Charlie woke up. "Hey kid." A tired, gruff voice mumbled. Turning to the voice, Naruto saw a black and white cat demon sitting at the bar drinking down a bottle in his hand that read, "Cheap booze." The demon was wearing top hat and a bow around his neck. "Husker?" Naruto asked as he realized the demon. "Hey Naruto, long time huh?" He said with a small smile, though he could not feel real happiness, he could express emotions when he could as Naruto chuckled. "Yeah, it has been, not since you hired me for that little excursion at the casino." Naruto mentioned as he remembered their first meeting, which the cat demon laughed a bit as he did as well. "Yeah, that was one hell of a night. You still got to tell me how you won all those games. I mean, you even beat the house cheating outright." Husker asked before he took a deep swig of his cheap booze. "Not sure what to say man, but I'm curious." Naruto laughed before he raised an eyebrow. "How are you here man?" He smiled cockily. "You here for that redemption?" Husker snorted, "Him redemption? That is a good joke if he heard one." "Nah, I got called here by some fucking asshole that decided to use me as guy for the front desk." He took another swig of his booze. "Other than that, the fucker dragged me away from my poker game when I was about to win the whole fucking pot." Naruto's brow furrowed as he went into deep in thought. An ability to teleport people. He thought before a single person came to mind. Can't be him, can it? How much was the pot man? The cat growled as he remembered all the cash he would have won. 150,000 man. Can you fucking believe that shit? Husker nearly shouted, slamming his bottle into the bar, nearly breaking it. Naruto shook his head. "Yeah, that sucks man, but you mentioned someone summoned you here?" Naruto asked, silently hoping it wasn't who he thought it was. Husker rolled his eyes as he leaned into the bar. "Who else could do it?" he asked coldly, making Naruto's hopes take a nosedive. "Yeah, that red asshole decided that I was going to help with this hotel out of charity and for some booze. He basically told me to work reception in the bar, but apparently, I can only serve to people during the afternoon in certain amounts. Kind of a crock of shit if you ask me." He took another swig but investigated his bottle, seeing it empty. He threw it into the trash. "Red asshole, definitely sounds like him." Making Naruto's ears lay flat as he gripped his head as he could feel a headache start to form. "You mean Alistair?" Husker raised an eyebrow, but then had a look of recognition. "Right, you weren't here when he showed up or summoned us." "But yeah, it was him." Naruto groaned at this information. "Charlie, did you make a deal with him? If so, that was very, very stupid thing to do." He thought before he looked at Husker. "Summoned us. Who else?" Naruto stopped when he heard humming from the other room, then rapid movement, more humming, and then the sound of rapid movement enters the foyer, revealing Nifty. "Asp a man." She screamed, happy to see a man as she sped across the room to grab Naruto, only to be kept at a distance when Naruto's foot connected with her chest. "Oh, mommy likes it rough." How annoying, but at least it is one of the less annoying overlords in this day and age. Husker mumbled as he saw Naruto's face contort into annoyance. "This is Nifty, she will be the maid I think." "I can see that." Naruto replied as he kept Nifty at leg distance, avoiding her grabby hands. "Ah, Naruto, how nice of you to say about your dear friend." Naruto heard, his body becoming tense enough to fully kick Nifty across into the other room, causing a loud crash and chicken noises to go off as his fur stood on end. Hearing the radio's static voice, Naruto turned his head and narrowed his eyes. "Alistair?" Naruto said in a gravely tone. Standing behind him was a red-dressed man with red eyes, horns on his head, a microphone staff, and twisted golden smile. Alistair, I'm surprised that you would be interested in the hotel in any way shape or form. Naruto said as he turned his head. Husker, mind me pouring my usual? Sure thing kid. Husker said as he moved a few feet away to get Naruto's drink prepared. Alistair laughed as Naruto ignored him. Oh, come now, we're both overlords here. Alistair said in a friendly tone as he walked up and put a hand on Naruto's shoulder, only for Naruto to remove it with a tight grip, making Alistair chuckle. You mean you're an overlord? I never claimed to be one. Naruto stated clearly as he pointed out the window to an explosion in the distance. All the turf I own is under the watch of that explosive cyclops. True. Alistair laughed a bit before looking Naruto in his eyes. But we both know that when it comes to being one, you're more than qualified compared to the rest of the so-called overlords. Like that man's watcher Vox. He growled, and his smile tightened with his 1920s slang as his insult. You really need to let go of that grudge, man. Naruto said as Husker pushed his drink forward, scotch on the rocks, which Naruto took in his hand. I mean you know you could kill that fool if it comes down to it, so why is it such a big deal to try and outdo him? Naruto downed the scotch. Oh, dear doggy, he pulled on Naruto's cheek making him growl, before releasing and walking away from him. Naruto downed his drink and motioned Husk for another one. Why would I do that? The cat demon just made another knowing how tense Naruto is with this red freak here and wanting to do what he can to keep them from fighting. Pretty sure those two would tear most of hell down, or at least Pentagram City down in their battle. Yes, I do hate him, Vox is nothing more than a nuisance to me, I could slaughter that stupid fool, but he is more of a numbers person, and while I'm confident I can beat them all, I know that he has more than enough resources that it would be costly and annoying. Alistair laughed with his eyes dilating and becoming clock faces at the thought of slaughtering Vox. Especially since it just gets me in trouble for doing it too often. Naruto shook his head as he took his second round. Right, Lucifer doesn't like it when the overlords, ones of great power causing issues in hell as this just means more work for him and more importantly weakening their overall population due to their bloodshed. Naruto thought as he put the cup down, tapping the glass 3 times, saying he wanted more. So, tell me dear doggy, what do you think of what I did here? Alistair asked as he returned to normal, his arms outward to show his touch. Naruto looks around the foyer and sighs. Well, you saved me from having to spend money to put a bar in this place, but please refrain from giving Angel anything else other than this bar. Turning his eyes red for a second, Alistair grinned and his eyes turned into radio dials and his aura screamed to life. We are trying to actually make this legit and the last thing I need is you tearing this place down just because you get bored. My dear boy, if I wanted to tear this place down. You wouldn't, or did you forget the last time you crossed Lucifer and his family? Naruto said nonchalantly, knowing Alistair could not do anything to him for the lack of respect. For the first time in a while, Alistair lost his smile before it returned more strained. No, I remember. He said in an angry tone, angrier than when he was talking about Vox. Naruto nodded his head and took a sip of his drink, not downing it this time because he didn't need to be completely intoxicated for work. Good. Naruto took another sip. Now please, keep your bad habits to yourself. Oh? The deer demon laughed. What about you? The hellhound that has made enemies of almost everyone in hell that is not allied to the king or doesn't want to jump your bones. Yeah well, I'm not exactly indulging in my sins like a certain piece of venison. Naruto snipped. This made Alistair bristle. Want to bet, doggy? Soon both auras flared back to life with Naruto ready to swing with his claws and Alistair summoning his shadows to his side and creating a terrifying situation for most. Husker just hid underneath the bar ready for a brawl to break out while also drinking another bottle of cheap booze. What the fuck is going on? Looking over the two see Vaggie in a nightie and Charlie wearing a black almost see-through nightie. Vaggie was glaring at both men, no fucking fighting in the hotel. Alistair stopped and waved his hand at the girls, his smile no longer sinister. Good morning, dears. Don't worry about this, we just had a bit of a what is it called these days. He tapped his chin before snapping his fingers. A measuring contest I think it is called. Naruto snorted before turning back to Husker and banging on the table. Husk, it's over, come back up. The cat demon popped up again and started downing his booze with a bored expression. Well, that was anticlimactic. He said angrily as he sat down. I wanted to see some blood. Naruto smiled and pulled out his phone, typed some stuff into it and then pointed it directly at Husker. Husk, give me your phone. Why? He asked. Just do it, man. Naruto urged. The cat demon shook his shoulders and did it, a ding sound going off when their phones touched. Looking down he saw a transfer of $200,000, making his eyes bulge. Consider this an apology for Alistair screwing you in your gambling game and also funds for whatever you need while running the bar here. Naruto stated as he put his phone away. Naruto turned on his stool and finished his drink giving the glass back to Husker. For the first time, at least to Vaggie and Charlie, the cat demon smiled willingly. Thanks kid. You were always one of the good ones in hell. Naruto nodded his head and stretched his arms above his head, bending backwards to touch the ground with the top of his head. Alright, time to get ready for work, it is going to take a while to get to the greed ring. Naruto said as he snapped back into a standing position, his statement making Charlie growl, while Vaggie is trying to calm her down. Naruto said being turned to Vaggie who had a concerned look, make sure you stay safe while out there. You know what people out there would do if they found you at the concert. Naruto rolled his eyes. This again really? Naruto thought before he looked back at Vaggie. Yeah, I know but don't sweat it, I got this handled and my job probably is just stopping imps and other demons from rushing the stage and whatnot. Plus, I'll be wearing a hat and glasses keeping her from recognizing me right away. Walking back up the stairs he saw Charlie stewing. Seems I have to pull out my ultimate weapon. Naruto thought as he approached Charlie. I'll be fine don't worry and I'll call if I need anything, mom. He then leaned down to her and kissed her cheek, making Charlie stiffen with a massive smile. He knows how to manipulate her too well. Vaggie thought as she shook her head, while the others raised an eyebrow at this level of affection from the hellhound as he proceeded up the stairs. Oh, Vaggie isn't he the sweetest child? Charlie gushed, pulling her hair over her face to hide her blush as she smiled. She really was an overly loving mother. Yeah, he sure is. Vaggie said as she tried to bring down the happy over-affectionate side of her lover. Naruto walked up the stairs and back into his room, where he changed out of his t-shirt and shorts and put on a classier outfit by his taste. A suit made for fighting. It is exactly what it sounds like. The outfit looked like a suit. Black with a red tie and whatnot to make him look professional, but there are hidden elements for the clothing. They were made from breathable elements that allowed him to move around as easy as he would in his other clothing and fight in them as well. They are easy to mend if torn and didn't leave him feeling stiff. Perfect mixture of looking professional and having the ability to fight on short notice if need be. Naruto then pulled out a fire red and orange beanie and put it on his head to help hide his damaged ear and obscure his face a bit. Next, he put on his shades and sighed. Man, such a pain but hey, I'm getting paid, so this is okay. He said as he looked in his door-sized mirror, checking himself to make sure he had everything on correctly. Damn tie. Naruto walked down, undoing his tie. Charlie, now coming down from her cloud 9, saw this and approached him. Here, I got it. Charlie said as she took the tie and tied it correctly. Thank you, mom. Naruto said as he hugged her feet no longer touching the ground before he put her down. As he straightened up, he saw Angel had come downstairs and talking to Alistair and flirting with Husker. Naruto could only shake his head. Husker doesn't feel love for anyone or anything other than booze, so he'll be lucky to even get his attention for more than 5 minutes. Naruto thought as he prepared to leave. I'm off. The room turned with Charlie immediately taking some pictures of him in his outfit and him just deadpanning, really? Of course. I always love seeing my child looking his best even if it is for that bitch. Charlie said, snarling the last bit with a partial transformation. Naruto rolled his eyes behind his shades and waved. Everyone, behave, and that goes double for you Angel. Hey what the fuck? Angel shouted at the lack of trust between them. Naruto chuckled and after walking out the front door he saw the white limo ready for him, hopping into the back he sighed. Xavier, you mind taking me to the job site? Yes, Sir Lord Magni. Xavier, a honey badger demon said as he started the car. Naruto deadpanned. Xavier, we have gone over this several times already. I'm not Lord Magni, just Naruto get that through your head. Naruto stated in mild irritation. The driver chuckled. Of course, Lord Naruto. Xavier replied as he pulled out of the parking and started the long drive to the Ring of Greed. Naruto just rolled his eyes and looked out the window, he really hated royalty status. All the kissing up to and whatnot got old. Well at least I can watch the crazy shit in hell on my way to work. Naruto thought as he put some headphones in and started listening to some human world music. Hotel. Not even 10 minutes since Naruto left Charlie began pacing back and forward muttering to herself. Alistair thought it was hilarious, so he watched with delight. Nifty was cleaning behind the girl every few minutes while rushing off through the hotel. Husker just rolled his eyes at this and kept on drinking. Angel was surprised to see the normally bubbly and caring owner to be so frantic and angry. Turning to Vaggie who was just reading a magazine at this point he poked her side making her growl. What? She snapped, her bow looking like horns. What's up with the boss lady? Angel replied as he held his hands up. Looking at Charlie, Vaggie just sighed in exhaustion as she closed her magazine. This is common when Naruto goes on jobs, but this one especially has her on edge. Vaggie stated. She just is worried, especially with the person who hired Naruto. Hearing her muttering, Vaggie and the others sweat dropped. Hearing, strangle bitch, my baby shouldn't have let him take the job, just make another do it. Did something happen with the girl that he is going to see? Angel asked as he had not even heard of this woman that had Charlie's knickers in a twist. Vaggie growled in annoyance as she pinched the bridge of her nose. Were you not paying attention yesterday at all? She asked in annoyance. Nah, I was looking for something to eat after you guys agreed to the bar. Angel replied with a casual shrug. Vaggie rolled her eyes and let out a sigh of disgust. Look, it dates back about 3 years ago. Vaggie started to explain, to which Alistair and the others listened, and while Charlie was pacing still and seemed to be wearing a path into the carpet. Naruto took a job for this client before being her bodyguard. This was after Naruto got famous and all that jazz. It was considered a goal for anyone to even score him for some work. She ran her hand over her eye and through her hair. The client was on the rise in terms of the pop music scene and considered one of the hottest artists at the time. Wait, you are saying it is? Vaggie covered his mouth, making him annoyed. She pointed an annoyed look at Charlie, who turned and sweated at the sight of Charlie, almost turning demonic. Don't speak her name, Vaggie warned in a tone that promised death. Angel nodded his head, watching Charlie take some breaths and walk out of the main foyer and back up the stairs with a couple of powerful stomps. Naruto did the job as her guard, but while working out his payment, she got a little frisky with him due to his fame. Apparently his sex appeal as a rising hellhound, and, her being a succubus, could see his sexual potential, and finally due to the fact that he is a virgin. Vaggie explained. Hold up. Angel held his hands up, dog boy is a virgin. At his age. Now this colored the room, surprised as being a virgin was almost a sin down in hell. More so since Naruto was 24 years old and already the center figure for a lot of reforms in hell and royalty no less. Basically, he should not be a virgin with all of that in play. Yeah, Naruto has had no interest in sex, and even then, he doesn't like to talk about it to any degree. But this made the succubus want him more, so she tried her luck with him, and all it led to was Naruto leaving the area without his shirt on and running all the way back to the pride ring from the lust ring. Vaggie stated, remembering the state he was in when he arrived back home that day. So many cuts we had to disinfect. Damn, Angel laughed loudly as he collapsed into an armchair. Most would kill for that kind of attention, so it is kind of funny. Vaggie shook her head. Not for the aftermath, it wasn't. Vaggie replied, shuddering a bit at what happened next. Charlie got called up to sell Naruto's services to her, and Charlie had found out what she tried, and without restraint, she gave a very graphic idea of what she would do to her if she ever laid a hand on Naruto again. Since then, both try to avoid talking about her or even mentioning her concerts. The hotel staff nodded and realized there is a reason for the tension, but most didn't care. Well, Angel now had something new to talk to Cherry about when she came to see him. The virgin hound, now that is a riot. Angel thought as he pulled out his phone and started a tweet. Ring of greed. Note to self, smack Angel when I get home. No idea why, just should. Naruto thought as he stepped out of the limo. Naruto looked at the ring of greed and all it had to offer. More importantly, the arena that he was attending for work. From what he saw, it was bigger than most castles in hell and was solely designed to get as many people in as possible and to have them spend all their money on some stupid show on a massive stage, making it seem grand in design. Yeah, Naruto was not a fan of such places, but he was not being paid to care or give his thoughts. Xavier, come and pick me up the minute I call you, got it? Enjoy your time in the ring and let Charlie know I got here safe, okay? Naruto asked as he patted Xavier's shoulder. Of course, Lord Naruto. Xavier replied, smirking. Naruto growled before he sped off. One day that fucker is going to just call me Naruto, as Lucifer is my witness. Naruto growled, baring his fangs a bit before calming himself down. Walking into the stadium, he saw imps and other minor demons running around working on everything in sight to get the concert ready. Wow, someone just got knifed. Naruto thought as he witnessed a fish-like demon get gutted and looted by a cat demon. Imps were the lowest ranking demons in hell. Hellhounds are about as highly ranked as them, but thanks to Naruto's popularity that is changing, and they were ranked higher than imps and given the same importance of other demons of minor classes. They were considered worthless and useless, but Naruto knew there is a use for everyone, you just had to look. Oh, good you're here. A female voice said, which was directed at Naruto. Naruto turned to see a slightly taller female imp wearing glasses and wearing a black business suit, being followed by two smaller imps carrying clipboards and coffee. Yeah, I figured I'd get here earlier than normal to let me get a feel for the place. Naruto replied, settling into his business mentality. The woman smiled. That's good, at least someone knows how to be a fucking professional, people. Shouting this to all the workers who either scurried faster or just growled. The woman sighed and motioned Naruto to follow her, thus he did and was taken into an office at the highest floor looking out over the concert. The two imps next to her set her stuff down on her desk and motioned for Naruto to take a seat in one of the chairs in front of her desk. "So?" Naruto asked with a sigh. "May I learn your name?" "It's Diane," Diane said as she extended her hand. As Naruto reached out to shake it, one of the two imps rushed to him. "Can we get anything for you, sir?" They asked with enthusiasm that would be used by a simp. Naruto raised an eyebrow and saw the female imp sigh. "Nah, I'm good but thanks for asking." Putting his hand into his pockets, he pulled out $200 and handed it to the two imps. "Why don't you guys go get something to eat while your boss and I talk?" The two imps looked at the generous amount of money and then to Diane. "Go you little fuckers. I'll call you too when I need you," Diane stated aggressively, making the two imps take off out of the door, and Naruto laughed. "So nice to see more imps running around and doing work these days," Naruto said with a hint of pride. Diane snorted at his statement. "Yeah, but down to business." Naruto stared at the Diane. "As I'm sure you're aware, Tex called you on my request." Figured, Naruto thought before replying. "Yeah, he mentioned that he needed help, which confuses me. Normally, Tex can handle riff-raff and idiots that rush the stage or try to get too close to your star," Diane stated in a professional manner. "To ask for my help, that means something is going on that isn't known outside of a few people in the public setting," Naruto said as he laced his fingers together. "Any reason for this?" Diane smiled before huffing. She stood up from her chair, she took a drink of her coffee and sighed. "You're perceptive and that is the exact reason I want to hire you today." She turned to him. "You remember a male pop star called J.K. Pronounced Jackash." Naruto looked at her quizzically. Diane then pulled out an old poster. On it was a red-skinned humanoid demon with thin, muscled arms and torso, due to him being shirtless, revealing several $signs tattoos on him. He wore 70s bell-bottom pants that were tie-dyed, acid green, black, and teal blue. He wore a triangled headband around his short feathered blonde hair with short horns on the sides of his head, a star painted on his right eye with black circular glasses. On his feet, he wore cowboy boots, white in color with black studs on them forming $signs. In his arms was a guitar coated in diamonds, causing a glistening effect as he had a joint in his mouth. Under his feet was a mountain of men and women. J.K. the Incubus pop star. Performing at the Ring of Gluttony for his Lust and Love tour. Buy your tickets now or miss out on the reveal of J.K.'s new trainee. Verasica Mayday. He looks like he is trying to be David Bowie, Jimi Hendrix, John Lennon, Paul Stanley, and Elvis. Naruto thought with a deadpan at the amalgamation on the poster. He had seen weird shit in hell, so that is a possibility, and learned of the human musicians from Charlie. Jackash, stage name J.K. I remember him, well, was told about him by my family. Naruto nodded his head as he put the poster down. He was a big deal back in the 90s, wasn't he? Diane frowned as she hit the poster, nearly breaking the table it was on. "Yeah, and he used to be one of our big cash grabbers back in the day, as well as being Verasica's vocal coach, and then he hired her as a backup singer, but she was so good they were a duet for a while." Diane informed Naruto as she lifted her hand to rub her eyes and took another drink. "Surely you heard what he did 2 years ago. You mean he killed several people in his agency and murdered that up-and-coming star because he was becoming more popular than him?" Naruto stated nonchalantly, moving his shoulders and arms in the wave motion. "Of course, I heard about it. Also, didn't he get extremely pissed when people called him Jackass, not J.K. "Exactly," Diane growled, smashing the drink against the table, destroying the piece of furniture. "After that fucking incident I made it clear our agency would no longer endorse in his stupid shit, but he didn't care. He thought he could succeed without a studio to back him." She smiled darkly. "He found out fast that is not going to be the case, especially since he didn't have the means and resources to succeed in this capacity." True, Naruto knew from personal history unless one had a personal backer, chances are you're not going to last long in hell, which is why new pop stars appear all the time, but the good ones are rare and stay on top for more than a decade. "So, what does this have to do with your star though and my hiring?" Naruto asked, feeling like he knew where this conversation might go. "You see, Verasica, our star, is having this massive concert, and if it is a mass success like we think it will be, she is going to finally bury that fool to the point that he will never recover." Diane exclaimed, really wanting this to work out. "But sadly, her biggest issue is that we know that J.K. is coming to murder today. We need to prevent him from succeeding and if necessary, killing the damn fool once and for all." Turning her head to him. "That is the real reason we are hiring you. J.K. has some power and some followers still, so if you were able to get rid of him and his followers, then that would be a big boon for us." "Okay." Naruto sighed. "This job is such a pain now. So, the goal is to kill J.K. if he shows up, and if he has followers kill them too, and don't disrupt the show at all cost." "Exactly." Diane said as she turned to him after burning the poster of one of their former stars, the table remnants being charred. Can I count on you? You know my rates for jobs like this are not cheap, especially since this puts the hotel in the crosshairs of things if something goes wrong, no? Naruto asked, raising an eyebrow. Diane smiled, pushing her glasses up her nose, leaning back as she metaphorically looked down on him with a confident smirk. I know, which is why I promise you this, I will pay the amount as required and make sure anything that can come back to you from JK or his followers will be buried and done. Diane stated confidently. But if he proves to be more than you thought and desire more compensation. Diane took her glasses off and seductively pushed them against her lips. I am willing to give my services. She stated seductively. Naruto swallowed a lump in his throat and before he could sweat, he cracked his neck. That won't be necessary. He replied as he stretched his limbs. I guess it is time to earn my check for the day, hopefully I can avoid any unnecessary problems. As for sex, nah, I am good. Diane pouted before returning to her professional persona when she put her glasses back on. Let's hope, but if you happen to keep JK$'s head intact, please bring it to me. I have a perfect place to put it and feel superior to that fucking loser. Diane asked as she sat down. Naruto rolled his eyes and walked out of the office and sighed. Man, my job is going to be complicated, I can feel it. He groaned as he walked down the hall and smelled a familiar scent and quickly turned on his heels and went the other way. I will not deal with Verasica if I can prevent it. He thought with paranoia. I'm Skip. I want your ugly, I want your disease. I want your everything as long as it's free. I want your love, 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 love. I want your love. The concert was in full swing. Verasica had the masses in her grasp, people were cheering for her, lusting for her, and a few tried to rush the stage for her as she sang Bad Romance by Lad Muffle Sound, Disc Scratch, Stab Bad Romance, an original song Verasica wrote herself. The succubus is dressed up for the event. In her normal white outfit of zero and stars, her hot pink skin on display with her hergless figure, and her horns shined up for the event. One shorter than the other, but he figured that was a fashion statement more than anything else. On top of that she had pink eyes with yellow sclera, pink hair, and heart-shaped tail. Overall, he could understand her sexual appeal. X prevented people from getting on the stage by knocking them out or throwing them back into the crowd if necessary. Verasica's followers are busy having some fun with the idiots in the crowd they could reach, and in minutes the whole thing almost became an orgy. Naruto's nose was overwhelmed by the lust and the pure scent of sex that was permeating all around him. It was overwhelming and honestly it was very annoying. He was wearing an earpiece to communicate with other officers in case JK$ appeared. So far the concert was going well and nothing seems to be out of place. Naruto thought as he looked over the crowd from his position. Maybe that JK isn't coming. Would help him save face, I guess. Naruto, can you hear me? Someone broke in through the back. An officer shouted in the earpiece, nearly bursting Naruto's eardrum. Just my fucking luck. Naruto touched his earpiece in his hidden ears. Got it. Do we know where they went? They are heading for the stage. You got to stop JK$. The asshole is really here. Got it? Naruto sniffed around and found an unusual scent in the area and within a few seconds saw the overrated and ruined pop star charging through the back curtains with a maniacal look on his face. The man looked like most incubus he had seen in his life. Red-skinned, horns that are black, and wearing revealing clothing. However, unlike other incubi, Jack Cash let himself go, which made his pants and shirt stretch tight across his body. He no longer had his thin, muscled look he had during his career. He had gained a massive pig belly, and his limbs looked like oversized sausages with stubby fingers on his hands. His blonde hair was a long tangled mess that was clearly cut by Jack himself due to how crude it was. His face looked like a balloon full of wet sand, about to burst with rage from the look in his eyes. That was the thing that bothered Naruto. Jack's eyes were almost completely red, given that most have gold or yellow eyes. Dude probably is full of drugs right now. Naruto thought as he took notice of Jack's arm, which had a rubber strip wrapped around it with infected injection holes in his elbow. Naruto stood in front of the entrance to the stage, preventing Jack from moving forward. Sorry buddy, you're not getting to Verasica. The man growled, foaming at the mouth literally. Get the fuck out of my way, you fucking mutt. She has to die for me to rise again. Jack shouted as he pointed at Naruto. Naruto rolled his eyes at this threat. Fucking drama queen. Naruto thought as he prepared to fight. Dude, your popularity sunk because you suck. No one is interested in a has-been who can't come up with new material on his own. Even if you succeed, no one would listen to you now as you're a fat ass. Fuck you. The incubus screamed, running toward Naruto, moving faster than Naruto expected from an incubi his size. I'm big-boned. Jack tackled Naruto and drove him onto the stage, getting the attention of the crowd and Verasica, who is surprised to see both men there. Jack let out a guttural roar as he punched Naruto, knocking his beanie fell off as his glasses broke from the tackle. It's him. Verasica smiled and licked her lips, making the fans scream out in greater lust and excitement. Naruto on the other hand was pushing the incubus off him after the tackle and putting some distance between them. The incubi, surprisingly, was agile enough to jump off the floor and drew a knife which seemed to be coated in some purple liquid. Poison, huh? How weak. Naruto thought in annoyance. Move, dog, I will not be denied my fame. I will rise again and stand at the top like I was always meant to. Jack declared. Yep, definitely annoying. Naruto sighed. You're a dime a dozen, female stars last longer than male ones, and that is only because most of them have greater sex appeal to the other opposite and same gender. Verasica blushed, but seeing her former teacher, she is annoyed he is brandishing a knife against her future dog, and worse, he is causing problems at her concert. That bitch, she took everything. Jack screamed, his voice cracking as he teared up. All she had to do was serve me, and I would have given her everything, but she had to get bigger, she had to get more popular, and then take my place as the top star in all of hell. I won't allow it. I'm the true king of hell. Naruto frowned. Wow, the drugs must be good if he is this high on himself. Naruto thought before shaking his head. Well, unfortunately for you, I'm not going to let you get close to her. He smiled as he saw his insults were getting under the former pop star's skin. Come on, jackass, Naruto taunted. Jack saw red. It's prominence, jackass. Jack shouted as he charged him and slammed the knife into his chest. Verasica is shocked and furious, but hears Naruto cough out a laugh. They just wow, man, you really are dumb as fuck, no wonder you lost fans so fast. Naruto coughed out as the broken poison-covered knife blade hit the ground, his skin not pierced. Naruto swiped his claws, beheading the pop star, letting his body fall to the ground, spurting out blood all over the stage. Dumbuses have to know by this point I'm immune to poisons if it even got me, but I am strong enough to stop a knife. Naruto coughed as he picked up the head and the body, the large crowd cheering as he quickly dragged them off the stage. He dropped the body and pulled down his shirt, enough to lift his fur to see some swelling on his chest. Though the force of your attack still hurts. Going to bruise a bit. Naruto grumbled. Hello, honey. A sensual voice. Naruto's whole body froze, first standing on end as he turned his head to see Verasica standing there with a smile on her face. So nice of you to protect little old me, want me to reward you later? She said flirtatiously, winking at him. Naruto paled, memories of their past encounter coming to mind and some memories from his own time as a child toy in his human life. He disappeared in a flash, leaving Verasica to pout. He got away. She shrugged her shoulders and went back to the stage to sing. Oh well, I'll catch him sooner or later, it is only a matter of time, phew. Naruto felt a tingle up his spine. I should ask Charlie if I can install more locks in my room, windows no, around the entire hotel. Naruto thought as he returned to his post as Verasica started singing Poker Face, another song written by Lad Stab, disc scratch, muffled screaming, stab written by Verasica. End of the concert. Thank you so much for this lovely gift. Diane said happily as she looked at the head of her former client, and the anguish look was so delightful for her. Yeah, so concert went off without a hitch, and I don't think too many people in the crowd noticed me killing JK. Naruto replied as he was looking around in mild paranoia. Oh, who gives a shit, the concert still was a success, and even if someone noticed, they wouldn't care as the cameras were focused on Verasica like normal. Diane stated as she put the head on the wall and admired it while having turned the corpse's body into a table. She sure held a grudge against someone that killed one of their stars and tried to murder a former student and their top moneymaker, and she wanted to enjoy this. So, my money? Naruto said in slight desperation to leave the building. Verasica could be lurking anywhere. Diane pulled out her phone and typed into it before Naruto's phone dinged, signaling he got his cash. Thank you again, and hopefully we can do more business in the near future. Diane said happily as she gave Naruto her card. I got yours. Naruto waved at the woman and walked out the door and sighed. Hopefully, I don't have to do anything like this for Verasica again. He thought before he looked up and smiled, his anxiety calming down. Yo dog. Vortex said as he saw Naruto, smiling at his friend. Paytech's concert was a hit. The gray and black furred hellhound laughed at this joke. He was slightly taller than Naruto and more muscular, and with more scarring on his ears and over his eye, but that came with the territory their kind had. Especially as a celebrity's bodyguard bouncer. True dude, some hellhounds are planning to hit up Yavani's in the Pride Ring, soon want to join us. Vortex asked as he wanted to party with his best friend. Naruto waved his hand as if to push it aside. Not today man, but when you guys hit it up later let me know. Naruto politely refused. Besides, after getting hit with that knife, I want this swelling to go down, and dealing with your boss has me on edge. Sure thing. Vortex said as the fist bumped clapped claws gave a one-arm hug with each other. Tell your girl thanks for the jacket, I wear it when I can. Naruto said as he did appreciate the jacket Vortex's girl had made for him. Will do man. Catch you around. Vortex laughed before they bid each other goodnight. Naruto walked away from one of his best friends and texted Xavier. Bring the car around, I'm ready to head home. Yes Lord Naruto. Stop that damn it. Annoying driver. Ahem. Naruto turned after hearing the voice and saw that it was Verasica who had a smile on her face and is now wearing her pink fur coat she is accustomed to. Naruto, I wanted to tell you something before it became public news. Something I think you'll find exciting. Verasica said without any hint of lust or attempt of seduction. Naruto stepped back and glared at her, prepared to run. Look, if it is about your next shoot and you're going to be stripping then I'll pass, you know I'm not interested in those kinds of events. Naruto stated clearly to the pop star. No. Verasica said quickly as she waved her hands and laughed a bit, keeping that in mind for the future. I'm taking your advice serious from our conversation all those years ago and I'm going to rehab for real. Oh? Naruto said with a quirked eyebrow. Verasica hates rehab, so the fact she is willing to go on my advice is suspicious. So, I just wanted you to know it is a special clinic and I would like you to come and see me while I'm there, okay? Verasica said with her hands behind her tail making the shape of a heart. Naruto shrugged his shoulder, not caring and wanting to leave. I'll try to make time, but I make no promises. He said, not intending on following this promise. Verasica nodded her head and without letting the chance pass she kissed him on the cheek, making him blush under his fur with wide eyes. Until next time. She walked away with a sway in her tail, while Naruto could only shake his head, looking for a place to wipe off her scent. Finding no other option, Naruto booked it to the bathroom and feverishly scrubbed his face down to get her smell off of him. Okay, I think that does it. Naruto said as he tried to calm down. She is more dangerous than any demon in hell I have seen. Even Valentino and Alistair pale compared to her. Exiting the bathroom, Naruto went outside seeing Xavier there waiting for him and after getting in the back of the car he said. To the hotel Xavier. Of course, sir, how was work? Annoying, I'm going to catch some sleep, wake me up when we are there. Naruto said as he put his headphones back in. Yes Lord Naruto. You will just call me Naruto one day you bastard. Naruto declared lightly, not sounding threatening, as he set the seat to lean back as he closed his eyes, falling asleep and trying to dream of better times, but the nightmares are still there and all he saw at the end is red eyes and a dark red figure in the distance. In another part of hell. In a dark fancy bedroom was a girl sitting on her bed and watching the live concert of Verasica. While normally not a scene for music, she heard someone interesting was there from some of the updates and tweets. Hearing this she tuned into the event, on her father's card of course, and saw a hellhound fighting a washed pop star. But what caught her attention is his blue eyes and his damaged ear. It's really you. I finally have found you. A blush formed on her face and her pink eyes started glowing in the dark. This time I won't let you go, you've ignited my soul, and I refuse to let anyone else get to you first. In a rundown office, a gray, white, and black fur female hellhound smiled watching the concert on the computer. Nice to see you doing so well Naruto. I hope to see you again after all these years. Hotel, 2 days later. Naruto sighed in tiredness as he sat down, having just finished installing additional locks to all doors and windows around the hotel. I will settle back into my routine. Naruto thought as he remembered his attempts calming his mother and Vaggie down from what happened at the concert 2 days prior. He had to explain what happened and the fact that he was noticed, but it was not a big deal, it just showed that he was there and killing a former star and thus increasing the overall appeal of the concert. The residents had a laugh, minus Charlie and Vaggie, and Naruto then had to ask Charlie for permission to install all the locks. Since it was a big hotel, it had taken 2 days. Listening carefully, Naruto could hear Alistair in his room, doing what he did. Nifty was shuffling somewhere in the attic, cleaning, obviously. Husker was currently at the bar, restocking the shelves. Angel, who had a mild relapse in his rehab, was under surveillance by Charlie and Vaggie. Currently, he was out getting the newspaper as a test. The sounds of the hotel staff were lulling Naruto to sleep, making him smile at the normality of his day. Ring. The doorbell ring echoed in all rooms, not the bedrooms, but rooms that all staff members would most likely be in. Naruto groaned. I am the closest one to the door he thought as he forced himself to get up. I guess I'll answer it. Walking to the door Naruto sighed and put a small smile on his snout and opened the door. Welcome to the has been hot, his smile disappeared as his blood ran cold. Standing in front of him was Verasica with a smile on her face and her bags behind her. Hey there honey. She announced as she wrapped her arms around his neck and kissed his cheek. This action brought him out of his shock and he whispered, what the fuck are you doing here? Oh, didn't anyone tell you? She smiled as she pulled back a bit. I heard this hotel is supposed to help us with the road of redemption and helps people let go of certain vices to redeem themselves or something like that. She waved her hand. I decided that I need to overcome my drinking habit and the best way to do it was here. Naruto started to sweat when he heard footsteps behind him and he just thought. Shit is about to get real. He thought as he turned his head, he saw Charlie smiling. Welcome to the Has-Been Hotel. Verasica raised an eyebrow and looked behind Naruto. Charlie saw who it was and saw red. What the fuck are you doing here? Naruto is not for sale. Charlie said as she ran between them and held her arms out to keep Verasica from Naruto. Well, I'm not here for buying Naruto's services. She smiled, trying to sound convincing. I'm here because your hotel helps sinners overcome their inner demons and whatnot. She waved her hand and had some imps dragging in her bags with a struggle and Naruto just watching. So, my manager and alike agreed to let me enroll here in exchange I quit drinking. Charlie is steaming and the heat coming off her was terrifying for the imps, but Naruto knew that she was mad she was caught in a rock and hard place. Charlie couldn't turn Verasica away as her policy is helping anyone that wants help, she had to help her quit drinking, and thus she is to indulge in helping. Well, welcome to the hotel. Charlie forced herself to say, moving very slowly like a rusted robot. Baggy, in the background, watched Charlie and saw that she is almost gritting her teeth. So where is the paperwork I have to fill out and where is my room? Preferably next to the security of this place would be nice. Verasica said with a wink at Naruto. He just sighed in defeat. Things are going to be interesting from now on. He whimpered. Oh, we have a room for you and we can take care of the paperwork now. Charlie grabbed the pop star and dragged her away while Verasica just winked and blew kisses at Naruto, who just ignored her and turned to Vaggie. Make sure mom doesn't kill her, okay? He asked. Yeah. Vaggie ran off after Charlie leaving Naruto to go to Husker. Drink. Naruto said as he propped his elbows on the counter. The cat demon nodded his head and instead of a glass gave him the bottle of scotch and Naruto started drinking from the bottle. Good thing I updated the locks. Naruto thought as he guzzled down the scotch, putting it on the table with a loud groan. Angel walked into the room and threw a magazine on the bar with a smile, the newspaper under one of his lower arms with sunglasses on his eyes. Check it out Naruto. He said before winking at Husker. Hello Husker honey. The cat ignored him and just took a deep swill of his beer. Naruto looked at the cover and dropped his scotch, which broke and spilled across the floor, to which Nifty shot toward it and cleaned it. Husk, I'm going to need another bottle. Naruto said as he shook lightly. On the cover was him but in this pic there was the caption. Sexiest demon alive, is he dating the hottest succubus? What is their secret relationship? Oh, is the virgin hound scared? Angel asked in a teasing manner. Naruto's fist smashed into the spider's eye, breaking his sunglasses. Chapter end. Chapter 3. Day in the life of a hellhound. Naruto snored loudly, a snot bubble inflating and decreasing with every breath he took as he slept. His phone lit up and his ringtone went off. Devour worlds might forsaken. Rise up from your 1000th year of sleep. Naruto's ears twitched as his ringtone, lyrics and music from Batmetal Forever. Awakened by Arrives, continued. Break forth from your grave eternally. I command you to. Naruto's eyes shuddered before staying closed, his conscience started to awaken. Rise. 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 Oh, fuck me. Naruto grumbled angrily as he grabbed his phone before he slid the bar, ending the song, and answered who is it and what do you want? Why is that any way to talk to your dear grandmother? Naruto froze as he shot right up. No fucking way. And today of all days. Grandma Lilith. Naruto replied in a nervous fearful tone. Hello sweetie, how are you today? Lilith said casually on the other side of the phone. Having a despicable time as always looking after your mother? I wouldn't say despicable, but it has been a challenge at times. Naruto replied as he rubbed the back of his neck. She seemed to make a ton of enemies recently. Oh, I'm aware and your grandfather has a request for you when we come to visit. Lilith said with a happy tone, smiling so much that it could make human children cry. Naruto blinked as a sense of dread washed over him. What do you mean visit? He asked, praying that it was a joke. Well, Charlie has called me a few times and talked about how rough things had been when stuff started and how it has just been harder than she expected. Lilith answered, giggling at the tone of Naruto's voice. So, we are coming down to see her and try to cheer her up. But aren't you busy? Naruto pointed out, trying to avoid this visit. Normally yes, but paperwork can wait as I think it is time for us to see this hotel that she fixed up and how things are going with these two famous clients you have living there now. I even heard you're dating one, a succubus no less. Lilith giggled, trying to hide her enjoyment when Naruto sputtered. Your grandfather is very proud of you and wants to know when the wedding is. Naruto rubbed his eyes, of course they would focus on that. No, we are not dating. Naruto said as he lay back down, pinching his nose. Verasica is just someone that is uber obsessed with me to the point that people think we are dating. Honestly, I don't find that kind of attraction to her at all. Oh shit, I thought you might be bringing me home a future granddaughter-in-law soon. Oh well, but who knows what will happen in the near future with her there all that time for treatment. By the way, how is all that going? Lilith asked curiously. Fine. Naruto replied as he pulled his phone away to make sure no one was in the hallway, via hearing their steps. Things are fine, we have had a few setbacks, but nothing we didn't expect with people from hell. We had to make a few exceptions to rules for them, but I think it is the right thing over just forcing the whole thing down their throat at once. How thoughtful of you, that is why I knew letting you go with her to this hotel was a good idea. Lilith stated proudly. You help while at the same time level things out instead of playing with unrealistic expectations. But going back to what you said earlier, is Lucifer really coming? Naruto asked in a whimper. Yes. Now I know that he and Charlie ended on bad terms, but I don't think it would hurt for him to at least see some of the progress she is making and hopefully see that she is bringing hope to some demons in this place. Lilith said as she sighed. I can see a fight breaking out between them as soon as he enters the door and opens his mouth. Naruto joked, causing Lilith to giggle some more. I can see that too, but they both need to grow up and try to be adults at this point. For fuck's sake, they are the king and princess, they should be able to talk about stupid shit like this, you know. Lilith said with a roll of her eyes. True. Naruto smiled at his grandmother's casual talk. Well, I know she and Baggy will at least be happy with the visit, so we'll see you soon. Indeed. Please don't let Charlie know, knowing her she will freak out and do something stupid and make her situation worse. Lilith asked him, knowing that Charlie would act irrationally if she knew. Yeah, I won't. She is so much like her father that it is crazy. I swear, anyway sweetie, we'll see you soon and please find me a girlfriend, I would like to see you dating sometime in the next year or so, bye. Lilith ended the conversation and Naruto could only feel his eye twitch as he put his phone next to him. He closed his eyes in an attempt to go back to sleep, but it never came. Groaning, Naruto rolls out of his bed and onto the floor. He sighed. Another day in hell, literally. Naruto mumbled as he got off the floor. After dressing in a pair of shorts and a shirt, Naruto opened his door and saw the locks had been fiddled with, annoying him. Verasica again. Man, that is the 5th time in less than a week. Naruto thought as he readjusted them. Ever since she enrolled in the hotel for treatment for her drinking, I have felt the need to avoid her at all costs. And I fucking live here. On top of that, I have to keep Charlie from strangling Verasica. Naruto's thoughts wandered to the staff of the hotel. Alistair found it hilarious that Naruto was terrified of a single succubus that was gunning for him. Husker felt bad for the kid and always supplied him with drinks and lied about where he was hiding all the time. Angel just teased him and his aversion to sex and mocking him a bit for being a virgin, leading to either him getting hit by Naruto or hit by Baggy. Charlie and Baggy, on the other hand, were doing what they can to help treat the pop star while at the same time keeping the former from killing her. Nifty, on the other hand, took an immediate disliking of the pop star and made it obvious as she would always get between them and cling to Naruto, screaming she had claim. Naruto sighed and walked down the stairs and entered the foyer. Hey Husk. Naruto grumbled as he sat down, head on the counter. The cat nodded his head and poured him his morning drink. Scotch on the rocks. Naruto downed it instantly and sighed as he put the glass down, rubbing his eyes in annoyance. Another day in hell, huh? Naruto asked sarcastically. Yeah, but it is probably better than shit going on in the living world now. I hear all kinds of crazy shit is going on up there. Husker grunted as he turned to clean some glasses. Naruto nodded his head. It seemed that in some places the humans were close-minded and trying to be politically correct to the point that he laughed. They tried that shit down in hell, they would be the first eaten or killed the minute they annoyed a demon. Well, he understands Charlie wanting to help the lost souls and allow them a chance of redeeming themselves. Naruto could understand Lucifer's argument that not all souls are redeemable and that death in hell is bound to happen at some point or another. It is all about who could be saved and who couldn't. Naruto sighed, hearing shouting on the upper floors. Bet it is that pop star again and your mother. Husker pointed out, due to the two of them constantly being at odds. Naruto smiled at Husker. Now that is a sucker bet if I ever saw one, because I would bet on the same thing. Naruto chuckled as he smiled, really needing the levity at the moment. The cat shrugged his shoulders and took a swill of his booze. You see Alistair this morning? Husker asked. Naruto shook his head. No idea, most likely he is trying to avoid the showing of sexual demonstration that the girls are doing these days. Naruto replied lazily. Husker nodded his head and held this info for the future, that way he can get him to leave him alone by having some nearly naked women or sex talk going on to dissuade him from bothering him. So, what is the plan for the day, Naruto? Husker asked, getting a head shake in response as he tapped his glass, which Husker refilled. Usual stuff. Keep the hotel running, keeping an eye on Angel and Verasica, stopping Charlie from killing said woman, and just making sure everyone is doing what they need to in order to keep this place running. Naruto said calmly as he heard a crash upstairs. Sounds like a shitty job, man. Husker stated before he took a drink. You think about doing any more work? Naruto shrugged as he lifted his drink to his mouth. After what I was paid for the concert and killing that wash up. Not really. Naruto finished his drink and got his refill. I have more than enough money to never really want anything, and plus Charlie buys me things when I express interest. On top of that, I'm the only one that is keeping people from tearing each other apart in particular. Angel and Vaggie were the original duo that fought, but now Charlie and Verasica are fighting. Smelling a heavy scent, Naruto sighed. There goes my morning. Naruto grumbled before he felt arms wrapped around his shoulders and he felt a generous bust pushed against his back, making his first stand up in shock and fear. Oh, dear, you don't have to be so harsh. Verasica purred out as she felt his body under her hands. Considering it is either leave or watch Charlie kill you, I prefer the option of me running. Naruto thought as he felt a small rush of excitement from Verasica touching him. Naruto drank down the rest of his scotch before trying to stand up. Verasica, not having it, maneuvered to sit in his lap, keeping him from moving and forcing his eyes on her very alluring morning outfit. Compared to Charlie and Vaggie, she went with something more daring and sexually alluring that even Husker had to turn away with a small blush on his face. I mean, the damn thing was practically see-through, and worse, he couldn't tell if there was anything underneath in terms of panties, and he was really not wanting to find out. Baby, you seem so stressed, why don't you let me take care of you? She started to put her hands around his shoulders and slowly massaging them and making his fur stick up. Naruto was feeling a little hot under his fur and his collar, but he kept his composure, but it was broken when his tail started to slowly sway back and forth. Sorry Verasica, I'm not interested. Naruto quickly picked her up by her waist, stood up, and put her down in his seat while he headed to the staircase. Verasica frowned before turning to Husker, who had a dead look in his eyes as he stared at her. So, Cat, Husker raised an eyebrow, not liking being called Cat. What is his deal? I mean, is there something wrong with me or something? Verasica ran her hands through her hair, then gripped her breasts. I mean, I get the idiot masses drooling over me in both worlds, and yet he seems almost immune to my allure. Husker sighed before taking a swig of his beer. Not my department, toots. Go bother someone else about that shit. He then burped, some of his saliva hitting Verasica, making her flinch in disgust. Plus, I'm not supposed to be serving you anyway. He waved her away with his claws. The woman angrily frowned before walking out of the room and heading back up the stairs, leaving Husker to sigh and just bemoan the annoyance of the day. Naruto at this point made it back to his room and changed while checking his phone for recent news given the concert and the mess that came from that. 2 weeks and my whole life feels like it is falling apart at the seams. Naruto heard Angel groan through the walls. Angel? Vaggie shouted before the sound of destruction of property echoed through the hotel. Great. Naruto deadpanned as he pulled on his jacket. Naruto quickly exited out of his room and headed down the stairs and to the point of the noise. Entering the room, he saw Angel sitting there with a grunt look on his face and Vaggie seething at him with the room in disarray. Thankfully, Angel's pet pig, Fat Nuggets, was safe in his little bed, watching Angel and Vaggie before he took notice of Naruto and oinked. Excuse me. The two turned to him with one looking on with sweat dripping down his face and the other looking slightly relieved. Naruto, good to see you. Vaggie said, regaining her composure enough to talk calmly. What is going on, Vaggie? Naruto asked, wanting to get to the point. Angel here has been doing online services from his phone for clients. Vaggie stated, turning her head to point and glare at the spider. Naruto raised an eyebrow and looked at the star and he waved his hand. Hold on. She thinks that is going on, but it is not, I swear. Angel said in a defending tone. Naruto shook his head and held his hand out. Give me the phone. Naruto calmly ordered. No way. Angel growled, but Naruto just stared at him. The fact you won't let me check what she is talking about means Vaggie is right. Unless you have something to hide, just let me have the phone and see what is going on. Naruto stated in irritation. What did I do to deserve this bullshit today? Angel growled but handed it over reluctantly. Naruto opened the screen and entered the password. He got it after 2 incidents in the past before the announcement and looked at his screen. On the phone was pictures of Angel during his time with his boss and time spent with his friend Cherry Bomb. He scrolled through it and found the most recently used app was a video one, and after clicking on it, he saw that he had recorded a video. Looking at the video, he saw something that made his eyes widened. When did you have time to record something like this? Naruto snapped in a panicked, somewhat embarrassed tone. Baggy, confused, tried to look, but Naruto quickly held the phone out of sight. "Naruto, what is it?" she asked in concern. Naruto shook his head, his fur having tinges of red in them, and quickly typing a few things before handing the phone back to a smiling Angel. "He was behaving, sort of. That is all you need to know," Naruto said as he looked away, not wanting to make eye contact with Baggy. Baggy frowned even harder before turning to Angel. "What was he watching?" she demanded. Angel shrugged his shoulder with a roll of his eyes. "Not sure, he might have seen one of my old sex videos, maybe my pole dancing, or hell, he could have seen something from one of my videos during the porn shoots I did a few months ago." Angel shrugged as he sat on his bed and stretched, fat nuggets getting on the bed and snuggling with him. "Who knows? But doesn't that mean if he saw and believed me then that nothing is going on?" He smiled smugly. "So, you can go taco breath." Baggy glared harder at him and her bow turned into horns. "Don't push your luck with me, Angel. You'll find that is ill-advised." She stomped out of the room, going to talk to Charlie about something that Angel did and see if she can get the phone. Angel laughed before opening his phone back up and playing the video with what he saw as a new caption. "Delete this or I will kill you if Lucifer doesn't first." "Eh?" He smiled and played the video again. Who knew things got that steamy between the two of them? "Charlie, do you really want to try this out?" "Come on, it could be fun, just put the collar on." "Ugh, fine, just let's never talk about this outside the two of us. I would hate Angel knowing of our explorations." Baggy put on the collar and leash, and Charlie smiled seeing her crawling to her in her underwear while she licked her lips. Charlie then tapped the front of her panties and a black strap-on appeared. Baggy started slowly dragging her tongue across the dildo, and this made Charlie's eyes turn red for a second, while Baggy was giving her a sultry look before she started to reach the tip. From there, she opened her mouth and started working her way down the dildo. Charlie just moaned. She showed she was feeling the sensation in some manner, and before anything else, she pushed her head down the dildo, making her take the whole thing into the back of her throat. "Man, Princess sure has some interesting kinks." He laughed, but here's his phone dinged and a message came up. Opening it, he saw Naruto glaring into his phone with red eyes with the caption. "Don't fucking test me. Delete that video." "Geez, such a buzzkill." Angel groaned with a smile before pressing some buttons and then deleting the video. "Can't wait to hear about this." Naruto shook his head as he really didn't need to know about his mother's indiscretions with Baggy. Walking down the hall, he proceeded to find Nifty cleaning everything inside and rushing him. "Man." Naruto just turned to the side and quickly tripped her down the hall. "Watch your step." Turning back around, he proceeded down the hall. "I need another drink." "I want you." Nifty shouted as she landed at the bottom of the stairs as if she felt no pain. "I'll get you, eventually." With her declaration done, Nifty returned to her duty of cleaning. "I swear everyone is so damn interested in my sex life, it is crazy. I don't even advertise that shit." "Because you're a virgin, that's why." Naruto turned his head and saw Angel standing there being smug. "Sorry virgin pup, everyone is going to give you crap until you start dating and actually lose your V." He snapped his fingers, his index pointing at Naruto. "I get it now. You don't have a girl because you can't get it up and it is so small it is laughable." Naruto's eyes went wide and he dropped his phone with his hands twitching. "Hey, there is no shame, I mean you know the saying it ain't." He sensed death and looked, seeing Naruto's body covered in his dark red aura. He saw killing that snake demon and his eyes dark red. Teeth bared at him and he realized Naruto was going to kill him. "Oh, fuck." The spider demon ran down the hall. "Help, wild dog. Wild dog on the loose." Throughout the hotel, people saw Angel running while Naruto tearing through everything in his way to get his hand on the former porn star and wring his neck. The day progressed after they managed to calm down Naruto, and Charlie hit Angel for mentioning Naruto's sex life and his virginity issues. After this, Charlie got the sharing circle for Angel and Verasica set up. It went south instantly as Verasica purposely said things to make Charlie angry, in turn making Angel laugh his ass off. In the afternoon, Naruto saw Angel drinking while Verasica was sitting in a chair trying to hide she is looking between him and the booze at the bar. Verasica was not allowed to drink at all while at the hotel, and they already found her sneaking booze into her room. After doing a strip search following the discovery of the booze, they found only a flask on her thigh, and that was a place that Naruto didn't search, as Baggy knew why it was there, and it was not to hide it. Naruto was looking through his phone to find some new ideas for himself and to have a reason to get out of the hotel tomorrow. His mother gave him one day of the week where he could be out most of the day, while she and Baggy took care of the clients, and he enjoyed himself or did some other work. Could address this issue with Valentino tomorrow, or I could find something interesting to do at the Hellhound Agency. Hellhound Agency, it was just as the name states. Hellhounds could go there to put in resumes for work and be hired out for whoever wanted them for variety of work. Some got bodyguard work like Tex did, some got sex work which was more profitable for them than if they worked at a club, bartenders or other variety of jobs in hell that they could perform if they had the skill and looks. Naruto however was a unique case as he was not only the most expensive, but he was not listed under his normal name and just under the title of King of Hellhounds. Naruto had the right to turn down work due to how much he is worth and the fact that he is leading hellhounds to become more independent than other races in hell. The best part, he got his race to learn from example and really expand on their own skills and talent while managing their own reputations to rival even the highest non-noble demons if done correctly. Looking through the listing of work on their site he saw one with his name on it and it said, Hellhound Inspection. Hellhound is said to work for an I.M.P corporation in I.M.P City. Reports state she works as the secretary for an independent murder sect of imps known as I.M.P, Immediate Murder Professionals. We need a wellness check on the Hellhound and see if they need anything at this time and if they need to be found new work and support in the coming months. Rate is the same as previous jobs of similar nature. Please respond as soon as possible please. Wellness checks were rare in Hellhound cases. Most people don't care what happens to them or treats them like garbage. Luckily, through him that is changing and their agency is having checkups on certain hellhounds that might be in dangerous positions due to recent conflicts with imps. Lucifer did say my success would possibly lead to conflicts with the imps and hellhounds due to not wanting to be seen as the lowest ranking race in all of hell. Tough shit, if they want to fix that they could, they have members that could raise their prestige but fail to do so for selfish or arrogant reasons. Naruto texted the agency. Contract taken, I'll look into it tomorrow. Naruto closed the site and looked through his texts, smiling at what he read. Yo. It's Tex man. Me and my girlfriend are going to be at Giovanni's tomorrow, you want to join us and a few others for a few drinks and some fun. T. Sure man, but I ain't paying for everyone's drinks like last time and. No problem dude, last job paid so well, drinks are on me, see you there at 8. T. That gives me time to do the wellness check and then head out to the bar later and get some drinks and have some fun. Plus, knowing that slime Giovanni he might have something needing to be done. And. Putting his phone up, he looked at the S and saw Charlie and Baggy there as well talking to Angel and Verasica about stuff they have tomorrow for treatment. You can see their excitement. Naruto thought sarcastically. Both were rolling their eyes and Verasica was winking at him with her face covered by the magazine until Baggy having to get her attention stabbed through it and through it. Nifty caught it out of nowhere and continuing her cleaning. Just another day in the has-been hotel. Naruto sipped his drink and smiled before feeling his phone ringing and saw a message. Unknown number. You have something that belongs to me. I want it back. Sorry, he belongs to the hotel now, but we can negotiate terms unless you want to start a war and bring everyone's attention on you and possibly Lucifer's ire. N. I'm not afraid of you, you damn mutt. I almost had you all those years ago and I will get my property back. One way or another. Want to bet on that? Promise you won't, but I'm willing to negotiate terms if you want to be adults instead of children. Or would bitch be more proper for your stuff? N. Come and see me at my place tomorrow. Let the front desk know. If you try to screw with me or screw me over, I promise not even your dear mother will save you from my wrath. I don't need her to fight my battles, you moth freak, but I'll be there tomorrow night, don't wait up though, wouldn't want you to feel this is anything other than business. N. I'll see you then, tell my darling Angel I'll be seeing him soon. Naruto rolled his eyes before turning his phone off and looking at Angel. He could see his attention was on him and from the looks of him and at the phone in his hand, he got some similar messages. Meaning that Valentino was not going to back down and he was going to get Angel back one way or another. Naruto mouthed, relax, I'll take care of it. You focus on recovery. Angel frowned but nodded slightly. Naruto walked up the stairs and what no one could see was his eyes were turning red at small flickers. Aim on motherfucker. Nice to see you're taking things seriously unlike before. Naruto looked around, not seeing the source of the voice. The fuck? Naruto muttered in confusion. I might be crazy, but I swear. We'll meet in time Naruto, soon but not now. Who's there? Naruto demanded, looking around before focusing on hearing for any excess breathing. Not hearing the voice for a minute, Naruto shook his head while heading to his room. I need to get some rest as tomorrow was going to be a busy day. Naruto thought as he needed to be rested to deal with his grandparents. It could only get worse once it starts. Chapter end. Chapter 4. Routine check, annoying prick. Naruto dusted off his shirt, making sure he looked somewhat presentable before he headed out. He had quite a bit to do today. Alright mom, I'm heading out. Naruto called out to Charlie. Charlie, standing at the doorway, had a concerned look on her face while Vaggie was keeping one of her hands on her shoulder. While she didn't show it, she did worry about Naruto, but not as much as Charlie did. Naruto, please stay safe and if you need anything please call, I'll be there in a heartbeat. Charlie said as she hugged him tightly. Naruto's sweat dropped as he hugged her back before they separated. I can defeat overlords and make even the most powerful nobles tremble at the sight of me, and she still worries about me. I guess that is a mother's love or something. Relax. Naruto put on his hoodie which had a black pentagram on it to contrast the now white hoodie. He personally liked the design given that Lucifer gave it to him when he moved out with Charlie about a year ago. I just have to take care of some of these things today and it won't lead to any unnecessary problems. Not true given the recent tension against the imps your kind are facing, this might be bringing more trouble and bloodshed to your doorstep. Vaggie chimed in. Naruto scratched the back of his head and without looking leapt over a small blur, Nifty, that tried tackling him. None of those imps would have the balls to face me straight up and even if they tried, I know for a fact that I can handle anything they can throw at me. He smiled and without hesitating he kissed his mother on the cheek, I'll be fine. Naruto looked at Vaggie and giving her a teasing wink, he kissed her cheek making her blush lightly and giving a conflicted look. Later. Naruto walked out the door, hearing a voice scream no more than a second after the door shut and it sounded like his mother was yelling at Verasica. Geez, some things just don't change in this place no matter what. Naruto mumbled with a humorous smirk. Walking to the front of the hotel, a limo pulls up and the back door opens with him hopping into the back seat. Where to first, Lord Magnes? Xavier asked as he looked at Naruto through the rearview mirror. First. Naruto, second head to Imp City, I want to do the wellness check first before having to address the other issue. Naruto said with mild irritation. Of course, Lord Naruto. The back window rolled up, blocking a knife, which he got from Vaggie, Naruto had thrown. Asshole. Naruto grunted as he crossed his arms before he groaned, first his talk with Angel and then this mess, yeah he was not happy in the least. Flashback. Naruto, listen, you can't go to Valentino's place. Angel stated with a hidden panic. Why not? Naruto rubbed the back of his head and yawned. He woke him up at 5 in the morning for this. Look, I know you think you're tough and all that and quite honestly, your power and skill far surpass his, but you don't know what the man will do and how underhanded all of his tactics are. Angel replied with worry. Naruto shook his head. Look Angel, it might not look like it, but I do know what I'm doing here. Now you might think I don't know what the moth freak is capable of, but the truth is I know more than most what he is willing and capable of doing. His left ear twitched slightly, drawing Angel's attention, seeing the piece of his ear that was still missing. Wait, you're saying? I'm not sure to be honest. But given that the demons that came from me wanted me for their boss and he was the only one I can think of wanting a blue-eye hellhound, my suspicions are on him. Naruto replied as he held a distant look in his eyes. Angel looked at Naruto, then looked down trembling. Aren't you terrified of him then? I mean he did that to you and now you're willing to throw yourself into his den where who knows what is waiting for you? Angel asked as he looked at his friend in disbelief. Naruto sighed. Look Angel, I don't know what is going to be waiting for me. Honestly, maybe it is an ambush, maybe it is a setup, or hell he could be having someone there to try and capture me to get to you. I don't know honestly. Naruto looked out the window and saw the red moon going down. But there is one thing I won't do and that is be afraid of him. He gripped his claws and his eyes turned red for a minute before going back to blue. I refuse to let that man intimidate me anymore. I've met Alistair who is 100 times more terrifying than him, I dealt with the Magnes family, assassins, angels, and all kinds of evils and disgusting beasts in this world. And you know what? Angel looked up and saw the ferocity in his face and the small smile on his face that made him more intimidating thanks to his glowing eyes. I've conquered or surpassed them all. Now look at me, he waved his arms out, I'm the hellhound that has made my people more important, built up their agencies, trained us for the next generation, and even managed to get us standings on par with most races to no longer be considered trash, just another race. I lead reforms without knowing it half the time, and I also became the most feared of my kind and the man that is respected and feared by all major players in hell. He looked up at the ceiling now and imagined his childhood with the Magnes, meeting everyone, training with his hellhound teacher, and all the battles and fights he got involved in. Then he remembered his younger self as a human, a blonde child surrounded by jeers and sneers, dark figures reaching out to torture the child, and then he reached out to the ceiling to try and grab the child. Who I was as a human no longer matters, I don't even remember anything from that time anymore, as all my memories are now here in hell. He leaned back with his hands positioned on the bed, letting Angel admire his fur chest and the definition of his muscular figure. I live Angel, he looked at his face and saw pure determination, I live my own code, my rules, my ideals, and my own identity. If nothing else from this hotel I want you to take this to heart, okay? Angel looked on, and when McNuggets hopped up on the bed and licked his leg he smiled and hugged his pig. Yeah, I think I'll try that. Don't mean I'll make things easy. He laughed a bit. I don't plan to make things easy for Charlie or Taco Breath, but I'll at least try your way of thinking. Naruto nodded his head, pushed off his hands into the air, and landed on the floor with a flip before walking to the door. Reaching for the door. Angel. He looked up. If this works out, if nothing goes wrong, and you don't give me any trouble after I come back tomorrow, then I'll make special arrangements for you to go out with me to Giovanni's and have some fun with some friends of mine and Cherry Bomb. Angel's eyes widened. You mean it? Does that mean I can drink while I'm there? Naruto sighed. Mom, forgive me. Yes, but only to the point that I have one of my friends watching you and you don't try to do any pole dancing or having drugs or sex, got it? Don't you dare violate my trust while we are there. Angel smiled brightly. He had been cooped up in the hotel for the last few weeks and after little to no progress in his treatment, to hear that if he just behaves until Naruto gets back, he could go out partying, oh hell yeah. You got it? Good. That means if I find out you fall off the wagon while I'm gone and afterwards you won't get another outing for quite some time, got it? The spider demon nodded his head rapidly and his pig winked in agreement and both laid back down, with Naruto hearing him falling asleep quite easily. Naruto smiled and walked out of the room and prepared for his day. Hey, he was already up, why not? Flashback end. We're here, Lord Naruto. Pulling himself from his thoughts, he looked and saw a dark building with the words I.M.P HQ written at the top. What a shithole building. Indeed, sir. Should I call someone else to take care of this? Naruto sighed. 1. I already took the job, 2. No one else could do this job, and 3. Just call me Naruto, damn it. Xavier smiled, seeing the young master step out of the car and standing on the sidewalk facing the building. Be back in about an hour, okay? Yes, Lord Naruto. Naruto watched the limo pulled away in a spur and Naruto could only stare at the car in annoyance. That damn little fucker. He took a deep breath and walked into the building. Entering, he saw a main lobby, nothing special at this point, and continued through the halls and to the elevator, in which he managed to make it to the top floor of the building and saw signs for different agencies and whatnot that were staying here. Most were small businesses or alike that were trying to make living in hell. Ironically, these are the same imps that people shit on too much and ultimately seeing them nothing more than slaves to dispose of if need be. But Naruto knew that due to their unassuming nature at times, give the right conditions and reasons, they could dispatch even noble demons with ease and become overlords if they try it. But most are too selfish or greedy in pursuing other goals that they fail in any attempt to be taken as serious as the rest of their race. Plus, I don't think that my work has here is the office, and what the fuck does that say? I.M.P headquarters. Meeting in progress. You know what, I'm not even going to ask, I'm just going to get this over with and head down that moth freak before I go back to the hotel. Knocking on the door, Naruto waited for a response, but he got none. Knocking again, this time harder, nothing came from it other than some shouting on the other side of the door. Naruto knocked once more and this time he was banging his fist on the door. Knock on my door one more time, asshole, and you'll be licking my ass. Naruto got a tick mark on his forehead. Motherfucker, now I'm pissed. With no hesitation, Naruto kicked the door and sent it flying to the other side of the room and through the window, down the street below, landing on an orange hoodie demon and crushing him underneath. Techni. Back in the office, Naruto walked in with a scowl on his face, his fangs starting to show. My name is Naruto, I'm here on behalf of the Hellhound Agency, here to do a wellness check on one Luna Hellhound. In the room, Naruto noticed 3 imps and 1 Hellhound. One of the imps had black hair, curly horns, black spade tail, gold eyes, a heart tattoo on their shoulder, and wearing what looks like a torn up black dress. Next to her was a white hair imp wearing a formal suit, a tail as well, gold eyes, and seemed to have white and black horns. He seemed to be frustrated but concerned about something. The final imp was taller than the 2 of them with a curved head that reminded Naruto for some reason having to go through Angel's room for contraband. He found tons of shit like this and knows more about sexual anatomy than he is comfortable with. Wearing a black suit and white shirt with he guesses is a tie. The man had white marks on his face and over one of his eyes and seemed to share golden eyes with the rest of the imps. He has a long tail and carried a massive scowl on his face. What the fuck, asshole? You owe us a new door. Naruto gained another tick mark. If you had just answered the door head, that wouldn't have happened. He has a point, sir. Shut the fuck up, Moxie. Naruto sighed and rubbed his hand over his eyes. Look, I'm just here to do a wellness check on one Luna Carnival. So can you please, is that a human child hooked up to a heart monitor? Looking in the back of the room, Naruto saw a kid in an orange shirt, blue ball cap, and puffy cheeks just lying there on a heart monitor. How in the fuck did you know what? Naruto just rubbed his face more and just groaned, I'm not even going to act like I saw the child in this office, just let me do my job and leave. Yo, been a while, huh, Naruto? Turning his head, Naruto saw a beautiful hellhound with long gray hair, gray fur with some white spots, such as her ears and around her chest and legs. Her long busy tail was black on the top part and white underneath it, and it just hung loosely on the floor going through the hole in the chair. She had white pupil in her eyes with red around the pupil, and she was wearing some revealing black shorts and small grey tops trained against her chest with a pentagram, allowing people bold enough to look into her chest. "Do I know you?" Luna frowned. "Yeah, gluttony ring, an old orphanage, some old rusty crone that you managed to dispatch." Naruto scratched the back of his head and then snapped his claws. "Oh right, I think I remember now." Flashback. Naruto was no more than 6 years old, and he was tired. He was tired of being treated like crap, being attacked by the other hound kids who thought they were so tough until he knocked out one of their fangs, and tired of having little to nothing to eat. "You little shit." A brutal kick to his stomach sent him crashing into the wall with a thud. "I know you're the one that stole my drugs. Where are they, and I promise if there is any left, I won't gut you." Naruto felt her wrap her claws around his neck and he started to choke. I don't have them." "Liar, sweet little Marcus told me you stole them." "Of course, he did, after I kicked him and his goons' asses yesterday, he wanted to do anything to get even." Naruto tried to break her grip, but she slammed his head into the wall. "Don't you dare try it, you little shit." Naruto saw it, his vision around his eyes, they were fading. "And black out yet." Right as it was to happen, he heard flesh tearing. "Ah. You little shit, I should have thrown you in the dumpster when I had the chance." The woman released her grip on Naruto, and he choked on air, looking he saw a girl with short grey hair and red eyes ducking away from the matron. She had managed to avoid her grasp, for now. "She saved me? Huh, weird feeling." Naruto growled lightly, "She is going to get hurt, better return the favor and end this mess once and for all." The matron caught the girl's tail and was dragging her upside down to see her face. She growled. "You want to die too, runt?" The girl didn't hesitate and spat in her face, making the matron scream and slam her face first into the floor with a sickening crunch. Before the matron could stomp on the child's head ending her life, she felt something chomp down on her throat. Without hesitation, Naruto bit into her and aimed with all his might and ripped out her throat. He pulled his head backwards as hard as he could, and without any chance to react, the matron found herself choking on her own blood and bleeding out onto the floor. "No, my life can't end like this." She saw her world fading while Naruto wiped the blood from his muzzle. "By the way, Marcus stole your drugs, not me." But he was such a the thought stopped and Naruto watched as the matron laid motionless. Turning his head, he checked on the girl and saw while she would be missing a little blood, she wasn't dead or hurt too bad. "Hey, can you get up?" The girl's eyes were blurry and saw the blue eyes of the hound she saved. "Yeah, a little." Naruto sighed. "But stay safe, I'm going to settle something and then I'm getting out of here, okay?" Wait, she tried reaching, but the boy was gone. "I don't even know his name." Looking to where his bed was, she saw it written at the front. "Naruto. Naruto, I'll find you again." Luna soon passed out, not knowing that Naruto had beaten Marcus and his buddies within an inch of their lives, so much so that the other children stayed clear and let him leave without any resistance or attempt to kill. Flashback ends. Luna. "Yeah, I remember you and I killed the matron all those years ago, man, talk about a coincidence." The girl smiled. "Yeah, after that day the other kids talk about you still, man, you put the fear of hell into them big time." Naruto laughed a bit, "Yeah, killing someone at their age and beating up the strongest kids there multiple times tends to lead to that." "Wait, hold the fuck up." Both hellhounds looked and saw Blitzo angry. "You're telling me you two know each other from childhood? How the fuck did you not tell me this, Luna?" The girl shrugged her shoulders. "You never asked." Blitzo raised a finger and then realized. She was right. Naruto coughed. "Well anyway, Luna, I'm just here to do a wellness check on you." He sat down in the chair in front of her, thanking Moxie for moving, and pulled out his phone and asked some generic questions. "Luna Carnival, is it true that you were adopted by said imp Blitzo, oh is silent, when you were 17? "Yeah, I was, how about you?" Luna asked slightly bashfully. "I was about 6 when I was adopted, honestly just out of nowhere as expected for the Princess of Hell." Naruto replied, willing to catch up with Luna while they did the questionnaire. Luna giggled a bit at this and hiding her eyes roaming his body. How delightful. Such a fantastic body, and yet he has that look of a worn and torn warrior about him. Oh, I wonder if he'd be up for some dogja style. She sighed internally, although he might not be interested if he learned about my condition. "So," Naruto continued while ignoring Blitzo screaming in his ear until he kicked him into the wall. "You work here at this imp, correct?" "Yes, it stands for Immediate Murder Professionals." "Ah, I see." Naruto sort of remembered a commercial he saw while flipping through the channels a little while back. "I'm guessing you work as one of the killers." She shook her head. "Secretary, pays good and I can goof off on my free time." Moxie coughs. "More like always goofing off and not really helping the company." Luna gave him the middle finger after raising it slowly from below. Naruto just sweat dropped some more. Right. Looking at this next question, how would you describe your life at this point? Are there any major concerns? Luna rubbed her jaw, quite honestly, she knew the right answer, but another one could lead to something else. Honestly, she looked at Naruto with a small smile, well sometimes this job is shit, Blitzo is a pain in the ass, and annoying, Moxie won't lose weight no matter what, and Millie has to compensate for his lack of the room turning angry and hurt, Blitzo, I would say that I rather not go anywhere else. This place is really good for me, and while he is smothering, I do, she sighed, she knew what was going to happen with this comment, love him as if he was my father. The room went silent, Naruto recording her answers and seeing she was telling the truth about it all. Moxie and Millie are shocked with how nice Luna was being about working here, and while she was insulting them, they realized she did enjoy her job here at I.M.P and spending time with them. Blitzo. Oh, my baby girl, I love you so much. I'm so happy you are in my life. Luna felt Blitzo rubbing his face against her and she just sighed, letting him enjoy the moment since this is rare for them. Plus, maybe this way he will try to listen more to her about what she wants rather than assuming. I see, well Luna, it looks like there is nothing wrong at this time and no concern other than the human in the corner, but other than that it seems that your living arrangements are good. Luna nodded while Blitzo was kissing her cheek and rubbing his head against her face, making her more and more annoyed as time went on. Is there anything that you need at this time? She thought it over. You wouldn't know if there is a cure for syphilis. Naruto raised an eyebrow. Someone has been promiscuous. Luna blushed slightly, Blitzo just enjoying the warmth against his daughter, thus ignoring the situation. Well, there is a cure for the disease in the human world, if you are in the early stages then it should be treatable. I'll ask someone to deliver it as soon as possible. Naruto texted this info to the agency to send one of their kind to the surface that can get the meds and deliver them to Luna. Luna smiled brightly. Thanks. By the way, can we trade numbers? I don't have too many friends these days and it'd be nice to catch up. Naruto raised an eyebrow at this and smiled. Sure, why not? Naruto quickly gave her his number and she gave him his, leading to Blitzo exiting his bliss mode and now yelling at Moxie about the failures of the company and how he was always back talking. Luna and Millie soon got involved, leading to the little kid to finally say. You guys are a bunch of assholes. Everyone turned to the kid and Naruto raised an eyebrow, wasn't the kid near death's door? Oh, shut up kid, you're luck to even witness this. It has been a living hell just pretending to bed so you shitheads don't kill me, but now I want that. He held his cheeks and moaned out, I want death. He pointed to Blitzo first, you are a stupid, selfish clown, and I'm a kid, we're supposed to like clowns. Naruto raised an eyebrow at the sudden twitch Blitzo was demonstrating. Clowns must be a sore spot for him or something. Hey now that's not very. If I wanted to hear words from a spineless jackass, I would rip out your spine and make you talk. Soon Millie got involved. That's my husband. Ha. That's your husband. The two growled at this comment. I figured you for a slut, but I didn't think you needed that bad. This gave Naruto a feeling of, holy shit, this kid is about to get killed for sure. And you? Pointing to Luna. What about me? Nothing, I don't talk to dogs, I'm a cat person, the child looking smug, and this comment irritated Naruto as well. Hat-loving little shit. He's so fucking lucky there is nothing allowing me to send his ass falling out the window. Hey, if a kid talked like that and acted like that then there is no reason he couldn't dream of throwing an annoying shit like him to his death. Plus, that one over there is a dog that looks like he is missing his balls. This comment made Naruto freeze and Luna, seeing the look in his eyes, said. You all might want to duck under the tables. She quickly dashed under with Millie dragging Moxie and Blitzo with her and hiding while they could feel the pressure growing in the room. Luna groaned at the power and while she was a bit turned on, she knew from some of the stuff she found about him recently, this is a clear sign someone was going to die. Walking slowly, Naruto glared down at the child who still looked smug about his comment and at getting this reaction out of him. Standing right in front of him, he smiled. So, someone thinks awfully high of himself, he smiled, let's bring you back down to the ground floor. Without warning, Naruto slapped the kid on the ass, sending him through the window and down to the ground below. You could hear a splat and some imps shouting on the street about a child falling from the high building and looking up to see who caused it. What the fuck, dipshit? Turning his head, he saw Blitzo poking him in the chest. That kid wasn't the target. Killing him is going to hurt our reputation. Seriously, how the fuck could do something so stupid? Naruto narrowed his eyes. Want to join him then? The dark red and black aura started forming around Naruto and the ground was beginning to crack, his eyes shined but were starting to flash red for split seconds. Blitzo growled. Let's go, asshole. Blitzo stated as he prepared to fight Naruto. I'll make you suck my as an apology. Pulling out a flintlock he aimed it, but Naruto slashed the pistol, making it comically fall to the ground in small circles. Want to try again? Blitzo growled until Luna answered a ring from her phone and then shot up from under the table. Fuck guys, that was the client, the kid was our target. Blitzo turned to Luna and frowned. Our client wanted us to kill an actual child. That's what he is saying. Blitzo looked down in shame but smiled afterwards. Christ on a stick, I guess there is a god. Turning to Naruto, he found him holding him by his neck and looking into his eyes. The only reason I'm not putting you through the same window is because it would hurt Luna. Try this again and Luna or not, I'm going to send you to the world after this one, asshole. Naruto dropped him to the floor and took a deep breath before waving at Luna. See you Luna, text me if you want to hang out or something. If they don't have your medicine in a week let me know too. Naruto said as he headed to the door. Luna blushed and waved. Sure thing. Naruto walked out of the office and Blitzo shouted, Moxie, get the body, we need to recover it before someone sees it or other demons come around to eat it before we can get paid. Naruto rolled his eyes and took the elevator down to the ground floor and exited to the building, seeing the limo waiting for him as he had texted him while in the elevator, and Xavier never goes far. Opening the back door, he sat down in the seat. Everything alright, sir? He was too tired and annoyed to argue. Yeah, fine, just don't tell mom about the body in the streets. Xavier raised an eyebrow and looking out he saw a human child that was being shoveled off by some purple demon with tentacles, but he saw him shot in the head by a red imp with white hair and him taking the body inside, leaving the demon dead in the streets. I see, do I want to know, sir? No, and there is some extra cash in it for you not to say a thing to Charlie about this. About what? Exactly. Xavier put his foot on the gas and began driving away. How was the meeting though? It turns out the hellhound is a friend from my days at the orphanage. Ah, that must have been nice to see. Naruto laughed lightly. Well, it was until her head, literally shaped like one, father decided to get really annoying at times. Naruto rolled his eyes, it amazes me they don't think some of us know how they are doing their job in the human world. Indeed, I believe Lord Magni finds it quite entertaining, and as long as they don't cause too much trouble in the human world, they won't eat too much other than entertainment. Naruto laughed. Yeah, I guess. Naruto frowned, although I wonder which noble handed out their book like that. I mean it has to be someone in the royal lines in hell that would have magical affinities, and not too many of them have that. How about the Gosha family? I believe the prince, Stolas, is fairly strong and could fall for someone like that imp if he is like you described him. Maybe. Naruto rolled his eyes, well that is neither here nor there, I have to get prepared for my next stop, fucking Valentino's little business. Do me a favor Xavier when we get there. Yes. Drive away and let me walk back to the hotel. Sir? I know it is asking a lot from you, but this is not a situation where I'm going to allow anyone related to me in one fashion or another being open to that scheming moth pimp. Xavier looked at his back mirror and saw the concern on his face and sighed. Of course, sir, I'll be nearby as if Lady Charlie hears of me just abandoning you out there, I dare say she'll gut me in an instant. Naruto smiled. Don't worry, I'll handle her if it comes down to it. Naruto laid his head back and sighed. Man, this next part is going to suck for sure. Hotel. Charlie was doing her session with Angel and noticed a far-off look in his eyes. Well, the group session was a bust, at least this time Angel seemed more distracted than annoying her or vaggy. He hasn't even insulted her once today, how odd. Angel? The spider demon turned his head. What? Charlie smiled. Is there something bothering you? You seem less snarky today than normal. Angel sighed before leaning back in his chair. Just worried is all. You know where he is going, right? Yeah, but don't worry, Naruto has dealt with people like him before and I trust him to handle himself if things get out of hand. Angel frowned. If only you knew the lengths he'll go through to get his property. You wouldn't be so confident. While Angel didn't pay attention to politics, he knew that in terms of the power structure in hell it was simple. The royal family is the strongest. Charlie, her father and mother. Noble families. Gosha and the like. Overlords. Alistair, Red Pimp, Valentino, Vox, etc. Human turned demon and most hell-born demons. Himself and others. Among them Valentino is not powerful, but he has connections and enough means through blackmail and other resources to get what he wants even from the nobles, and there was no lying he was great in sex exchanges. He would not be against using nobles and alike to get at Naruto to get to him. Naruto might not fear him anymore, but Angel sure as shit did. After all this time he is the one person he fears more than anyone, and quite honestly, he is not sure he wants to face him again or anyone from his old life. Look, Angel. Grabbing his hands, Naruto is going to be fine. Valentino and Alistair are two overlords he has dealt with the most recently, and quite honestly, he is committed to this hotel and helping you more than anything. I don't think I have to tell you Naruto does care for you, not in the romantic way, she waved her hands frantically, but more as a sibling or best friend you know. Angel nodded his head, figuring that. Yeah, look if it is alright with you, can we cut the sessions today, I'm just not in the mood to share and care. Charlie smiled, at least he asked. Sure, tell Husker I said you can use the bar a little longer tonight, okay? Thanks. Angel was about to walk out but remembered Naruto's words. Live your life how you want to live it. Sighing he turned away from the door and walked up to Charlie. She raised an eyebrow before suddenly pulled into a hug. Thanks Charlie for believing in me when no one else will. He released his hug and quickly walked out of the room and Charlie could only release a scream heard through the hotel. Angel had made his first real step. It was a great day for everyone. Chapter end. Chapter 5. Luna was sitting in her room looking over some pictures she had found on the internet. More, the pictures of Naruto. Most of the pics were just him fighting some of the demons in hell from a couple years ago, and considering the guy was still kicking ass and taking names, he was doing it more often now. Sadly, his actions had the effect of letting some of the other demons roam into those neighborhoods and claim them for themselves and even start up new gangs, led by different overlords of varying sizes and methods. Luna would know, she had seen one group that is led by an imp and he runs it like a mafia syndicate. Flipping through some more pics she licked her lips seeing a shirtless Naruto during one of his outings when he was trying on clothes. More, his body was muscular under the fur and even had the scars that to Luna were a major turn on showing his time on the streets was never forgotten. Plus that means he can take pain just as much as he can dish it, which leads her to think other thoughts. Suddenly her phone dinged and saw one of her friends was online and PM her. OWLPRINCESS2245. Oh. Hey Wildhound, how's your day? W. Pretty good, you? Oh. Just doing what I can to avoid my parents, damn it, they keep fighting to the point that the others are noticing it just by walking by our house, even then they see mother walk out the front door in a huff and then they get more bent out of shape. W. Damn, that's fucked up all because your dad cheated. Oh. Oh yeah, I don't really care either way, but still it is fucking annoying. What about you? Saw you had a post mentioning seeing an old friend again. W. Yep, I knew him back when I was in the orphanage and seeing him again after he got all famous and shit, it was nice. Oh. Famous how? Luna tags a pic she had saved of Naruto in his casual clothes and a white hoodie with inverted crosses on it. She then sent the pic to Owl. Oh. No shit. You're friends with the legendary Hound. W. Yep, we knew each other back in the day and honestly he was a scared little shit back then. But he was the first person to show us that we can fight back and prove our worth in this world. Really was a comfort to most of us growing up. Oh. Is he still in the area? Luna raised an eyebrow. W. No, why do you know him too? Oh. Yes, but I got to go, my parents are calling. W. Okay, message me whenever. Oh. Yeah, you're on break on days that end in Y, right? W. Yep. Luna then saw her profile ping signaling she logged off, but she couldn't help but wonder. Why did she care I knew Naruto? Most don't even know his name unless they encounter him or talk to people in the right places. She shrugged her shoulders, oh well, time to see if I can find that one where he is trying on underwear or better yet bathing on the beaches of lust. In another part in hell, there was a click on the computer and an owl teen was sitting there. She is wearing all goth clothes, with a beanie on the top of her head with a crown designed into the stitchwork and wearing earbuds in her ears, which one can't see unless they looked close under her feathers. She had long feathers around her body to match her black hair that went down her back and contrasted her purple-red eyes. She had a black-tipped beak and was walking with a slouch, knowing what her parents wanted and really didn't want to get in the mix of things. More so, she now had to drag herself out of her room after learning her online friend met him. Feels like forever since I last got a good lead on where to start looking for him in hell. For a famous hound he really doesn't make it easy, plus mother would freak if I left the house looking for him. Fuck, I hate it here. Walking down the hall she could hear her mother screaming and her father trying to calm her down. But it was proving pointless as the fighting kept getting louder and louder the closer she got to the main living room. The room was decorated as one would expect for a noble. Fancy furniture, paintings of the lord and lady of the house and herself, and fine carpet and decor decorating the room. The room was dark in color scheme with the most prominent colors being purple and black. I can't believe you were sucking off that fucking imp in our bedroom. Stella, I'm sorry, but you don't exactly bring warm comfort to our life. Oh, I suppose that this disgusting imp that dared to desecrate our bed is more than worthy of that. Do you know how fucking embarrassing it is to hear this in front of our friends? Why do you care? This reflects on me, not you. Oh, it does reflect on me, you imp-sucking bastard. The girl just watched as her mother continued to rant and finally her father took notice of her. Octavia, good afternoon. The girl raised an eyebrow, her father was weird and trying to change the subject to her. Her mother just turned to her and sneered. I see you're still wearing that disgusting cap. Fuck, it is like I'm surrounded by people that just want to embarrass me. Octavia sneered. At least I'm choosing what I do with my life, unlike you. What was that? The white hair owl with pink eyes started growling and approaching their daughter, but in a rare moment she stopped when she saw her husband standing in front of her. While she might insult the man, she knew he was not one to provoke, as one of the few nobles that is considered a possible replacement for Lucifer if something were to happen to him and his family. Stolas, Prince of the Hell, is wearing his regal red robes with a crown on his head and his 4 red eyes were trained on Stella, his wife. I believe you were about to leave, no Stella. Stella growled, now he shows a backbone or tries to be responsible. Are you? His eyes darkened and this made the room shake a bit. I said, you are leaving, right Stella? The woman growled and stopped out of the room, making sure not to step on the inside of her dress and head out to try and make sure her standing among the nobles is saved from her husband's infidelity. Damn, Dad didn't know you had it in you. Why haven't you done that more? Would save us all a lot of headaches. Stolas turned to his daughter and smiled slightly. I sometimes wonder myself. He ruffled her head, making her moan in embarrassment. But back to the point, I called because I wanted to ask how you are doing with everything. Octavia raised an eyebrow. Fine as can be, I guess. We done? She really wanted to go back to her room. Stolas grabbed her wrist. Excellent, I think we should spend the rest of the day together, come, there is much to do and much to purchase. Octavia tried in vain struggling against her father, but seeing him excited she lost the will to fight him after a few feet. Just like back then, only the fighting was quieter. Flashback. 5-year-old Octavia is terrified. She is sitting in a tent in Lululand and watching some robotic monstrosity dancing and clowning around, and his green glowing eyes were freaking her out. Her father insisted on a family outing, but why this place of all places was a mystery to her, and honestly she could sense the tension in the back of the room with her parents. Her mother was not a fan of this place, but Stolas thought that it was the greatest considering he was dressed up for the occasion. Goofy hat and all. She saw the robot clown coming closer to her and her fear was growing second by second. His hand was close to her face and she was ready to scream. But soon a hand pulled her back and pushed another child in her place for them to be swept up in the mess. Octavia took a sigh of relief but turned around and saw Hellhound standing there. You okay? Yes I am, thank you Sir Hellhound. The kid raised an eyebrow. Don't be formal, it is annoying. He looked at the clown and narrowed his eyes. How the fuck that thing entertains people is a mystery to me, and quite honestly this is the most annoying place I've been to in the last year. Octavia was surprised to hear someone slightly older than her cursing, but she could see the appeal. Who are you? The kid turned his head and smiled. Just a hellhound mud, I guess. That is what people call me anyway. Looking up at the crowd he saw the adults completely oblivious that some of the kids were terrified of the clown and thought it was a good joke. So, want to look at the rest of the park with me? BBB, but my mother always told me. The hellhound rolled his eyes, allowing her to see his eyes were blue and that he was missing a bit of one of his ears. Listen kid, you want to enjoy yourself. Sometimes you got to be adventurous and be willing to defy some rules until you find what makes you happy. Taking her hand, he rushed out of the tent with her and she was following best she could in her pink dress. Where are we going? The hound smiled. To have some fun. Without much warning they ended up in the carnival lineups with challenges that allow you to win prizes. She looked around nervously. Scared of someone coming for you? Turning her head. Yes, you might not know this, but there are quite a few demons that would love to get at my father no matter what, and my mother, I know she'll be furious about me just running off like that from the tent. The kid sighed and put his hands behind his head and walked forward without a care. Come on, you can't say that you're happy living like this. Living like what? He turned his head slightly. Scared of every little thing that might happen and things that your parents ordain as absolute and something you have to do because of status or lineage or family honor or other useless shit like that. Octavia's mouth hung open at his dismissal about everything. Look. He walked up to one of the booths and when a small red imp tried jumping him from the roof, she saw him step to the side and without warning, raised his foot up to meet the imp's crotch, leaving him writhing on the ground from a sickening crunch. She swore she saw blood seeping out from his fingers. If you worry about all that stuff then you really fail to see what you want or desire in life. More so, you don't get to live your life, they are living your life, you know. He stepped on the imp's neck and it gave under a sickening crunch. Well, he put some money on the counter for some baseballs. Then how do you live? Octavia was tired of this kid ridiculing his family and acting like he knows better than his parents. knowing what it meant to live when he was not even a noble of any standing. Me? I live my life by my choices. He threw the first ball, shattering the stacked bottles. I choose how I live, what I eat and drink, when I sleep, when I train, when I want something and how I go about getting it, and finally what my life is meant to be. He threw the second ball, shattering another setup, making the owner growl. No matter what, my choice is what matters to me, and I feel others should understand that. He threw his last ball and shattered the last setup and raised his hand in the air in triumph. Well, nobles don't have that luxury of freedom that a commoner has. Actually, they have it more than a commoner does. He looked her square in the eye and took another baseball, and without warning he beamed the stand owner in the face, jumping over and landing on his chest before pulling something out from his hand that was hidden. Holding it up, Octavia saw it was a pistol, and without hesitation he pointed it at the demon and shot him in the head, covering him in his brain and blood. How do you figure nobles have it easier than commoners in the case of freedom? Simple. He looked through the collection the man had in the back of his stand and was looking for something. But he found almost nothing until he grabbed something sitting underneath the cash box that he was hiding. You nobles can't choose how to live and where you live. You can choose who serves you, what you know, what is deemed true for nobles, and what is deemed false. Honestly, you guys have more freedom than most, and more importantly you have the power to defy the very system that was created and make it something new. The choice, however, he jumped over the barrier while spinning the pistol in one hand and holding something in his other hand. Do you take control of your life and lineage, or do you let it dictate you? He then threw the item at Octavia, who caught it. She looked down and saw it was a black beanie with a small crown stitching on it. The design was crude, but it was still a nice hat. All that matters is choices and what you make of them. Make sure you pick what you want to do, okay? Trust me, you'll be happier due to it. Octavia looked at the hat, and for the first time in her life, she could say without a shred of doubt she loved this hat. She loved it, the design and the feeling of it, and the fact that it was her first gift from what she can assume is a friend. It was comforting to her when surrounded by those that will kiss her ass and treat her as if she was divine and without fault. Octavia. Turning slightly, she saw her father and mother rushing to her, and without warning her father picked her up in his arms and was hugging her closely. "My little Starlight, don't you run off like that again please, I was so worried." Octavia frowned and hugged him back. "I won't daddy, I just wanted to win a prize and my friend did for me." Turning his eyes, he saw the male hellhound looking over the pistol and just sighing. Looking at the corpse he could figure out what happened. It was regular occurrence that an employee would be murdered at their stall for trying to cheat a customer. "Well, that is nice. Mongrel, how dare you touch my daughter." The hound looked at the woman owl and didn't even flinch as she got right in his face. He just stared at her and rolled his eyes before turning on his heel and walking away with wave. "Nice meeting you all, have fun. After all, my mother only brought me here to brag about how much better the other one is." "Wait just a fucking minute." Before Stella could chase down the hound, Stolas put a hand on her shoulder, and when she growled at him he glared back. "Touch him and we will have more than a fair share of problems that won't end with just our loss of prestige." Turning his head at the child he frowns, he knew who that was, anyone in the royal lines would, given he was famous and known for his unique eyes and missing ear, and it was a good thing he was here otherwise. Their family would go extinct for daring to harm him. 2 noble families already were killed after they did something in front of his grandfather, and this led to him slaughtering them and their family without hesitation. The only good news is that the families that were killed were assholes anyway, so no one cried at their line ending. Putting his daughter on the ground, he notices the hat in her hand. "Starlight, did that nice hound give you that?" Octavia nodded her head, but her mother snorted. "It is an eyesore, throw it in the garbage now. No child of the Gosha family shall." "No." Stella glared at her daughter, who weakly glared back. Stolas watched in shock. "What was that?" "I said no, I want to keep it. I like the hat." She put it on her head, and while it was a little big now, Stolas could say it fit her. "Absolutely not." Stella reached for it and Octavia flinched, but her father got in front of her and stopped Stella from touching her. "Enough, if she wants to keep it I say we let her. I mean, what is the harm after all? She made a very interesting friend today and I can't wait to see how things blossom from here on." TCH. "That brat will never be anything but an eyesore in hell." "You might think that, but he will still be there and you know it." "Daddy, do you know who he is?" "Yes." He smiled, "He is someone special, be on the lookout, as I can promise you he is going to be someone to fear when his time comes." Octavia nodded her head, but what she didn't know was the thought of him had ignited a fire in her and she wouldn't know what to do with it until she was much older. Flashback ends. Octavia could only sit in the car and sigh while dragging one of her fingers across the window and smiling lightly. "Soon we shall meet again and I won't let anyone take you from me." Stolas subtly was watching his daughter and smiled. "Ah, young love. Valentino's Club XXX. Naruto sighed, opening the door to this place. He was assaulted by all kinds of horrible smells and pheromones that were running rampant. But he had to stomach it for his fry client. Yeah, client. Hey you. The small being with a pink head and one eye looked up and pointed his tentacle at Naruto. Oh, sir. Sorry if I kept you waiting, as you can see we have another very loaded day. Sex pun's a thing too, huh? I'll pay double your salary not to say that while I'm here. Sorry sir, Lord Valentino's orders. Naruto rolled his eyes. Look, the moth freak and I have a meeting today. I'm not here for anything other than that. Tell him that the hellhound king is here, got it? The small being shivered. Yes sir. He quickly picked up a phone and dialed one number and put it to his ear. Sir, there's a gentleman here to see you. He says he is the hellhound king. He nodded his head. Yes sir, right away sir. He hung up the phone and turned to Naruto with a bow. Please follow me. Walking away from the front desk, they entered the main floor of the building, and it was just like Naruto pictured it. Stripper poles everywhere, scantily dressed men and women demons walking around, some even fucking on the couches and giving blowjobs or even eating women out. On top of that, some were serving drinks and some were not even dressed and had discarded their clothes the minute they walked into the building. Pretty much the room smelled so horrible that Naruto covered his nose with one of his hands and his ears closed downward to prevent the sound of slurping, moaning, screaming, and slamming ringing to the point that is all he hears. Unfortunately, the little servant picked up an unknown alcohol drink and started walking with Naruto following quickly behind him, leading to Naruto avoiding some of the women that tried to grab him the minute he was within range of their claws and even hooves. Naruto and the demon arrived outside of a door that read, the I.P. Naruto looked and coughed. You should probably knock first rather than just barge into the room. Might avoid a bullet. Ah. He nodded his head and heard a muffle. Come in. Entering the room, the demon placed a drink in front of his boss and bowed before walking out as quickly as his tentacles could carry him. Valentino. Naruto, his voice had a bit of a static sound to it. How pleasurable you are here now. Turning to the women on the couch, ladies, give daddy some alone time with his guest. Please entertain the guests on the ground floor. Of course, Mr. Valentino. The girls waved at their boss and blew kisses at Naruto, who just ignored them, keeping his eye on the asshole in front of him. Sitting in a chair was a blue-skinned, red-eyed demon wearing love shades, long fur pimp robe, and a large red pimp hat. The man had a small Lilith frame, all things considering, countering his height, and more so, he had only two of his hands free at this time, while the others were occupied in his coat pockets. So, Val took a sip of his drink before pulling up his cigarette pipe and releasing a puff of smoke. You finally have come. I knew that back then you were special. He pulled out a keychain from his pocket, showing a severed ear that was perfectly preserved, and Naruto's ear twitched. Yeah, well, at least I don't get my kick abusing and fucking children, you are fucking freak. Valentino laughed. I'll have you know I don't touch kids, I'm many things. A drinker, businessman, sex machine, I'll even admit I'm an abuser and user, but the one thing I don't touch is children, get that through your head. Naruto narrowed his eyes. Didn't seem to bother you to chase me down. Oh? I was going to keep you as my pet and when you were old enough then put you to work. That is still abusing and using children, you sick fuck. Valentino took another drink and with his last hand, he swiftly threw a deck of cards on the table. The past is the past, why don't we focus on the present, my dear doggy? Naruto growled before walking over and sitting down in the chair in front of the asshole. Valentino quickly shuffled the cards and started dealing. So, I think you know why I wanted you here, right? Naruto nodded his head and looked at his hand and kept a straight face. This is about Angel. Valentino nodded his head and with a wave of his hand a sack of chips appeared and soon dealt out the chips for the game to really start. Naruto threw 2 chips into the center. Angel is with the hotel now and that means he is done with your world. Oh, and how do you figure? He smiled and threw 3 chips. After all, the man has been failing to keep to anything that the hotel has set up. Naruto narrowed his eyes and tapped the table, signaling he will stay. Valentino did the same thing and they revealed their hands with him grunting in anger as Naruto took 5 chips. He might have had a few failed attempts, but that is expected for someone going through recovery. But the thing he doesn't need right now is you. Naruto shuffled the deck before dealing out the cards. Looking at his hand, he grunts while Valentino smirks. Well, even if he wants to leave, he can't. He snaps his finger. Out of flames came a large parchment titled contract. He signed a long-term deal with me and my company 5 years ago. He not only has to work out his contract, which he is not even half completed with, but he also has to pay back what he owes in terms of debt, which is quite a lot of money. Valentino threw 10 chips into the center, daring Naruto to match it. Naruto didn't hesitate and he threw out 10 chips. Both stand and then showed their hands while Valentino was angrier. How the fuck did you pull out a royal flush? Naruto smirked. Yes, I'm just that lucky, huh? Sorry that your only attraction is the dildo in your ass. Valentino gritted his teeth before shuffling the cards again while Naruto collected his chips. But if the issue is the debt, then tell me how much he owes in total and don't leave 1 cent out. Valentino handed out the cards, Naruto seeing him slip a few into his hand and he smiled seeing what he got. He owes me close to 10 million. Naruto nodded his head and took another card while looking at his hand and smiling. Valentino nodded his head and pushed more chips onto the table and got another card smiling at it. Naruto shook his head and when they revealed their hands this time he slammed his fist under the table in fury. What the fuck? How did you beat me? I know I should have won. Naruto chuckled while taking more of his chips and then shuffling the cards once more. Want to switch games? Seems like poker is not your strong suit. He then handed out the cards and the Mothman sat down in a huff. Just play. Naruto nodded his head and looked at his hand but put his cards down to glare. The money I can pay easily, and if you try to hide that I paid it or try to make it where he still owes, I'll know, trust me. Valentino huffed. As for the contract, I have something to trade. Naruto reached into his hoodie and out came another parchment paper with the word contract, but Valentino took one notice of the contract. It was in red. Is this? Yes, this is a Lucifer contract. Valentino swallowed. Lucifer contract. A contract formed with a connection to Lucifer himself. The man makes these contracts to keep track of who is keeping their debts and who isn't, and who can be eliminated and who isn't going to be eliminated. Well, normal magical contracts work, someone can word it to suit one party or another, but in this sense Lucifer balances the contract to favor both sides and that no one gets screwed in the end. But if one person was to break their end of the contract, Lucifer will find out and hunt them down, as this means they believe him nothing to fear and he will not take this from anyone. Yes. Valentino grabbed the contract and read through it while Naruto pushed his chips into the center of the table, making this the last hand of the game. First he was reading calmly, then angry, then annoyed, and then with understanding, and finally with a big smile on his face. The terms, I can accept these terms. If that means you get to do some stuff for me in exchange and ensure that I make up my losses with this move. Naruto nodded his head and Valentino pushed his chips into the center of the table and after picking a card they reveal and it shows that Naruto has a straight flush and that Valentino had a flush. He huffs. Well, that fucking blows, and not in the fun way where it ends with me covered. Yeah, keep dreaming. Naruto gathered the chips and with one tap of his fingers they all changed into cash before he starts putting the bills into his jacket pocket inside of his coat. Thank Lucifer for the storage space in this thing. Valentino snorted. Well, tell my darling angel if he wants to visit he is more than welcome to do so. But I guess we can consider our business concluded then. Naruto nodded his head and after both men signed the contract, he walks out of the room hearing Valentino shouting into the phone about getting some men and women for service. Exiting the building, Naruto sat down in the limo. It had waited outside this entire time and it made him angry that Xavier didn't listen to him. So, sir, I'm guessing that your business outside of the contract is concluded. Naruto snorted. Not even fucking the minute the deal ends in some way or he finds a loophole, he will try to exploit it. I know that bastard enough to know he will never really relinquish Angel, but that is fine, I'll be ready for the fucker. Xavier nodded his head. Where to now, sir? Take me to Giovanni's, I need to just party the rest of the day away and honestly, getting shit-faced sounds good right about now. Of course, sir, but Lady Charlie will be quite angry. Naruto nodded his head and sighed. Yeah, but I had a long day so she can bitch at me later. Naruto watched as things were passing by until finally after exiting Valentino's side of town, he saw a club that had loud music blaring and people waiting in a long line to get inside. Naruto took off his hoodie and without warning hops out of the car and shouts. Come by in the morning, Xavier, tell mom I said so. Yes, Master Naruto. But the limo pulled away and the guard at the door, weird purple man with a speaker in his mouth, saw him, motioned him inside. Naruto waved before walking into the club smiling seeing Tex and his girl hanging out with the others. Ah, fuck it. Naruto released a howl and this drew the club on him and Tex and the others howled as well. We're ready to get shit-faced. We are. That night, Naruto would barely remember what happened and not give a flying fuck. Enough. Naruto growled at Angel. You had to tell others about my virginity, didn't you, fucking pole sucker? Angel laughed. Hey, Cherry and I were just talking and the subject came up. Bullshit. Well, Cherry smiled and laughed. It is okay that if you can't get it up or even pack much, you know that old saying, it ain't size that matters, but what you do with it. Naruto growled. I'm not impotent and I sure as shit ain't small. I just don't feel the need to brag or start something about it. Angel rolled his eyes while the rest of the room just went on with their day while Verasica was listening in carefully, thinking this would explain his lack of interest in her. Naruto hearing this joke, knowing Angel is teasing him relentlessly and now he is getting shit about outsiders saying the same thing. Enough. Without warning and hesitation, he drops his pants and underwear, and without warning the entire room was left in shock. Does this look small to any one of you motherfuckers? Everyone in the lobby was left gobsmacked for different reasons. Angel as he was looking at the size of the and wondering, how the fuck does he walk around let alone fight without tripping over it? Jerry is taking some pics and thinking maybe she should jump that when she gets a chance. Alistair is horrified and covering his eyes with the tentacles and playing radio static. Husker just took a drink and quickly turned away, already feeling inferior to Naruto in the sense that he was packing some serious muscle. Baggy who walked into the room was stunned silent and just wondering if it'd be wrong to try her luck while dating his mother or if that is too weird even for hell. She may be a lesbian, she can't say she might not be bisexual. Charlie is covering her eyes not wanting to see her son like this. Luna who had walked into the building to hang out with Naruto was left stunned silent in the heat and taking pictures while fighting her urges to just mount him or be mounted. Verasica and Nifty just licked their lips and charged him but they quickly were stopped by Charlie. Naruto on the other hand saw cameras outside and groaned. Fuck, this is really not my day. Chapter end. What if Naruto can summon hellhound harem? And thanks for watching my video till the end. If you enjoy this content then do consider subscribing to my channel and leave a like if you guys need the next part, comment down, and thanks for watching the video and see you guys in the next video.